On day 1, I spawned in as a Noob Dragon, with a gang of angry villagers surrounding me.
Hey look, another dragon! We better get that nasty beast before it gets us!
What? Mister, I just got here. I don't want to get anyone.
More draconic lies! You're not gonna pull one over on us! Let's get him, boys!
The gang of villagers all started to chase me across the valley. I didn't understand why they were so angry at me. I was just a baby Noob Dragon. I only had 5 hearts. Luckily, I was still pretty fast for being a scaly noob, and I managed to outrun them, reaching the aspen forest and leaving all those villagers to eat my dust. With them gone, for now at least, I took a moment to rest amongst the trees and catch my breath. Oi, these guys sure know how to roll out the welcome wagon. I have no idea why dragons have such a terrible reputation around here. And I didn't get much pondering time. Before I could pick myself back up and run off, I was surrounded by those same villagers again. They caught up with me and emerged from between the trees, completely surrounding me.
Tag him and bag him, boys. One less dragon out here makes our villages just that little bit safer.
On day 2, after the villagers captured me, they took me straight to Dragon Jail and threw me into my cell. They didn't even take time to hear me out. What about due process? Don't I have a right to a trial?
Those are human rights, Noob Dragon, and you're not human.
Darn it! At least I wasn't alone in my cell. There was also a bored-looking Komodo dragon lounging around. I was happy to have someone in the same boat that I could talk to. Hey, I'm Zozo. All those villagers captured me pretty much as soon as I arrived, just because I'm a dragon. I don't understand.
Nice to meet you, Zozo. I'm Carl, Komodo Carl. I've given up on trying to understand why the humans do what they do. I'm not even a real dragon. I'm just a Komodo dragon. I can't even breathe fire.
Breathe fire? Wait, Carl, you're a genius!
I am? Thank you. I'm happy to finally have my genius recognized.
I turned to the door of my cell, summoned up all of my might, and blasted a fireball at the door. It wasn't all that powerful, but it was powerful enough to at least set us free. Let's go, Carl, before the villagers realize we're gone.
You don't have to tell me twice, buddy.
Carl and I ran out of there, going our separate ways. Now we both at least had a fighting chance out here. On day 3, after escaping from the dragon jail, I fled to somewhere that the villagers would have a lot harder time finding me, the Black Forest. By the time I'd gone deep enough into the forest to feel safe from the villagers, I was so hungry I could barely stand it. I guess using my fireball power and then making a daring escape really works up an appetite. There wasn't a huge amount of food around, but I at least gathered up as many sweet berries as I could, eating some and storing the rest away for safekeeping. Suddenly, a huge shadow passed over. I looked up and saw something amazing. It was a huge, fully grown ender dragon soaring right above me. When she spotted me, she turned herself towards me. I looked so tiny compared to her.
Hello, little one. I didn't expect to see another dragon down here, even a teeny tiny noob dragon such as yourself.
Hi, Miss Ender Dragon. My name's Zozo, and I'm pretty surprised to see you too. People aren't very kind to us dragons around here.
Ah, so you've encountered all the cruel, small-minded humans who are out here threatening to ruin our way of life. You're lucky you escaped with your life.
Wait, you know about all of that? Please tell me more. I'd love to understand everything that's going on here.
You'll understand it all in due time. Fly with me, little one, and I'll take you back to my lair.
So me and the Ender Dragon used our dragon wings to take off into the sky. At least it'd be a lot harder for humans to get us up there. From day 4 to day 5, I flew with the Ender Dragon all the way back to her draconic lair in the wooded Red Rock Mountains. As we flew over, I noticed that there was an unusual number of Endermen wandering around the mountain. I figured they must have been there with the Ender Dragon. We touched down near the top of the mountain, and that's when the Ender Dragon started telling me her story.
You see, Zozo, we dragons once ruled this whole world. The natural home of all dragons is the end, but the end isn't a very vibrant place. Instead, we dragons came here and helped lift up this world to greatness. But some creatures, especially the humans, were ungrateful for everything we did for them. They decided instead to hate us and hunt us to near extinction just because we're the rightful rulers of this world.
That sounds horrible! What can I do to make it all right again, Miss Ender Dragon?
We must reclaim our territory, piece by piece, Zozo. You can start by finding a good place to build a base. Here, take these tools.
The Ender Dragon gave me a set of stone tools, and I flew off again. I searched from the skies until I came across a Guiana shield biome. This seems like a good place to hang my hat. I flew down and started using my stone axe to clear trees and make space for my base. This also gave me enough wood to make a decent start on actually building it too. I took a break from my building to appreciate the scenery when I saw a gang of villagers wandering through the forest, searching for me.
I swear I saw a dragon fly through the sky around here. We need to find it before it does any damage.
But this time, I wasn't going to settle for being captured. I blew another fireball and it exploded right next to them. They scattered immediately after that. Then, I leveled up thanks to me using my dragon skills. I had 10 hearts now and I'd gotten bigger. Not as much of a noob now, am I? From day 6 to day 8, I was exploring more of the Guiana shield when I happened upon a sad-looking raccoon wandering through. Hey raccoon, is everything okay? You look a little glum.
Of course I look glum. My home just burnt down. I'm the only one who got out.
Oh no, that's terrible. I'm so sorry. What happened? Was someone being careless with matches?
No, someone else did it, or something. And I know I'm not the only one. There are a lot of incidents like this. Some places getting burned. Some folks are getting poisoned. You better be careful out there.
And with that, the raccoon wandered off. I knew even more now that something horrible was going on out here. But was it something I could fix in less than 100 days? The day after, the Ender Dragon returned, floating in the sky. She had some things to say to me.
Zozo, I'm afraid I have grave news. The humans are working together with some of the other creatures to wipe us dragons out completely. We need to find and crush their resistance movement completely.
But where would we start, Ender Dragon?
I need information first and foremost. Make your way to the Jacaranda forest. I believe there may be some people of interest there. Find out all that you can, and while you're there, if you can find an old chest of mine, I left an echolocator inside. It'll help you find caves.
Without any delay, I set off to the Jacaranda forest. From day 9 to day 10, I flew away from my base and made my way towards the Jacaranda forest, hoping to find some information and, if I was lucky, the Ender Dragon's old chest. I landed in the forest and started searching. Thankfully, it didn't actually take me long to find the chest that the Ender Dragon told me about. Plus, thankfully, there was an angry Crimson Phantom guarding it. The owner of this chest told me I could have what was inside it, sir.
Oh yeah? Well, I don't care. It's my chest now, and if you want it back, you're gonna have to fight me for it.
The fight began, and because I was still technically a real Noob Dragon, the Crimson Phantom was stronger than me. His attacks were powerful, and he seemed to be good at tanking mine. I pulled out of the fight and tried to collect myself. I was worried the Crimson Phantom was going to attack me, until a Phantom Fox ran in and distracted him for me.
Hey, Crimson, don't you know why you shouldn't fight with dragons? You'll get burned.
This was just the distraction I needed to fire a fireball at the Crimson Phantom, destroying him for good. Thanks for the assist, Phantom Fox.
No problem, Noob Dragon.
With the Crimson Phantom gone, I easily searched the chest and grabbed the echolocator. The Phantom Fox was still there, waiting for me.
Say, want to come visit my friend, the Elder Guardian? I think he'd like you.
Sure, he might be able to help me with some information I need. We traveled deeper into the forest until we came upon the Elder Guardian. All three of us sat down to chat, and I asked the Elder Guardian if he knew anything about the human resistance groups.
Resistance groups? Where have you heard of such a thing? I don't know of any resistance groups, just people trying to do their best to survive hard times.
Interesting. I'll report back with that. From day 11 to day 12, I flew from the Jacaranda forest back to the wooded Red Rock Mountains, where the Ender Dragon was waiting for me.
Well, do you have anything to tell me about the resistance groups? Our continued survival depends on it, Zozo.
I spoke to some people, and the funny thing is, nobody seems to know about any resistance groups, just people trying to survive.
Fools! All of them fools! Do I have to do everything myself? Gather up some iron from a cave to create some iron armor, then find a remote village to the south of here. You'll see evidence of the human resistance with your own eyes, since you seem to have so little trust in me.
I had no idea why the Ender Dragon seemed so mean and angry with me all of a sudden, but I figured I still better do what she said. I flew down from the mountain and used the echolocator to find the nearest cave. I headed inside and started mining until I found some iron ore. This would be perfect for armor and tools. But when I left the cave, some angry dread thralls were waiting for me. Can't you guys give me a break? I've been having kind of a rough week. They didn't listen. Instead, they attacked. Luckily for me, it was easy to make short work of them with my fire breath attack. Now I need to go find that remote village. From day 13 to day 15, after searching for a couple of days, I found the remote village that the Ender Dragon told me about. But it seemed so peaceful. It was a small, isolated community guarded by a single iron golem. They didn't even seem bothered by me being there, like the villagers that had first imprisoned me. A lot of what the Ender Dragon told me doesn't seem to add up. Something's wrong. I need to get out of here and find out the truth. From day 16 to day 19, I flew back to the wooded Red Rock Mountains to get some straight answers out of the Ender Dragon, only to find that she wasn't there. This whole situation just keeps getting weirder and weirder. I'm starting to get a little worried, honestly. I flew back to my base, turning this whole thing over in my mind, when I noticed someone was already at my base, waiting for me. It was one of the villagers from that little remote village that the Ender Dragon made me stake out.
Oh gosh, I hope you're a nice dragon, because that evil Ender Dragon is attacking my village, and I need some help.
Wait, the Ender Dragon? Oh no, don't worry, I'll go over there right away. I flew back to the remote village and saw, to my horror, that the villager was right. The Ender Dragon was flying above, destroying everything. I flew in and tried to reason with her. Ender Dragon, why are you doing this? These people aren't part of the resistance.
You gullible fool! You barely deserve to call yourself a dragon. There is no resistance. There are only we dragons and all inferior species. You can either be with me or against me.
I'm not going to let you hurt innocent people, Ender Dragon.
Then you're against me.
The Ender Dragon blew one of her poisonous purple fireballs at me, and everything went black. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up from being knocked out and found that the Ender Dragon was gone. But she'd also destroyed the entire village and left no survivors. Except for one iron golem, who was left without anything to defend.
I feel terrible. It was my duty to defend them, and now they're all gone because of me.
It isn't your fault, Iron Golem. It was the Ender Dragon's fault. Come back to my base with me. We'll work together to defeat the Ender Dragon and avenge everyone she hurt.
Yes, that sounds like the only way that I can bring my heart some peace.
The Iron Golem and I went back to my base. I let him stay in my house and made sure he was happy here.
Thank you, Zozo. This looks like a wonderful place to stay.
And while I was there, I built a smelting furnace where I turned my iron ore into iron ingots, built a few new pieces of armor, and an iron pickaxe. I'm going to use all my might to become an experienced dragon and take down the Ender Dragon for all she's done. From day 23 to day 26, I decided to take my new iron gear out for a spin. If I was going to become a mighty enough dragon to defeat the Ender Dragon, I needed to get to work and explore some new areas. I ventured out to the desert and started looking around. Then I spotted a Vex Piglin attacking a Komodo dragon. Wait a second, I know that Komodo dragon. Komodo Carl, I'll save you.
Zozo, thank goodness. I thought I was a goner.
I rushed over and started attacking the Vex Piglin, but it was really strong. Yikes, this is gonna be a harder fight than I thought. The Vex Piglin knocked me down.
Oh no, Zozo, look out!
Carl, I can't defeat this guy by myself. I need you to help me.
How can I help? I'm just a Komodo dragon. You're the real deal. I couldn't even free myself without your help.
Just trust me. If we work together, we'll be much stronger than we are by ourselves.
I'll give it my best shot.
Komodo Carl jumped in and attacked the Vex Piglin while I was down, attacking him and saving my life. Thanks for your help. See, I knew you were stronger than you thought you were.
Thank you for showing me that and helping me save myself. Hey, let me give you something to say thanks.
He gave me a Komodo dragon spit bottle. Oh, thanks, I guess.
I know it seems gross, but you can use this to make a potion resistance potion. It should help protect you.
Oh, cool, thanks. From day 27 to day 31, I took a stroll through the beautiful rose fields to catch my breath after that fight with the Vex Piglin. Seeing all those flowers definitely put me in a good mood. While I was stopping to smell the roses, I saw a herd of sheep. They were wandering around and looked pretty lost, so I told them to follow me back to my base. Once we got there, I built a pen for the sheep to live in. Here you go. You guys can stay here as long as you like.
Oh, Zozo, you're back! I'm so glad. I wanted to show you what I did while you were gone.
The iron golem showed me some bookshelves he added to the base. Awesome, thanks! Meanwhile, in the wooded Red Rock Mountains, the Ender Dragon was up to no good, with a frightening Ender Blaze standing by her side.
I'm so glad you see things my way, Ender Blaze. With your help, no one will dare oppose me ever again!
My pleasure. We Ender beings should be in charge of everything, and if you're the one who's gonna make that happen, I'll do anything I can to help.
From day 32 to day 35, I left my base to go explore the Enchanted Forest. I was just taking a casual stroll and looking around when suddenly a group of warped Moscos spotted me.
Oh no, a dragon! Quick, let's get him before he burns down our forest!
They rushed toward me and started attacking me. Hey, wait! I'm not here to burn anything down. I live in this forest too.
That's what the dragon in our last forest said, but he was a liar! I bet you are too!
Wait a second, the Ender Dragon, she lied to me too! It's my mission to defeat her so she can't hurt anyone else.
Really? You promise?
I promise. My name is Zozo, and I'm a nice dragon.
If that's really true, then you should come with us!
I followed them to a warped toad who was sitting under a tree.
Well, I certainly didn't expect you boys to bring me a dragon.
I'm here to help, I swear. My name is Zozo. I don't like the Ender Dragon any more than you do.
Well, as the old saying goes, fight fire with fire. Having a dragon on our side might be the advantage we need to end the Ender Dragon's reign of terror. The Ender Dragon isn't used to battling his own kind, you see. She's tricked most of them into working with her. I'll tell you anything else that I learn and help you however I can, Zozo.
From day 36 to day 39, I decided to work on upgrading my armor. I went down into the mine and started digging for iron. I found enough to craft the rest of the armor I needed, and I even found a couple of diamonds too. I gathered everything and took it back to my base. I used the iron I mined to complete the rest of my set, and when I was finished, I saw a raccoon at the entrance to the base.
Hey, are you Zozo?
That's me.
Oh, good. I heard you're trying to learn more about being a dragon, so you can get strong enough to stop the Ender Dragon, right?
I am. Are you here to give me dragon lessons or something?
Nah, I'm just a raccoon. I could teach you how to find food in the trash, but I think you'd rather talk to my friend. She's a lightning dragon, and she's not too fond of the Ender Dragon either. If you're not busy, you can come with me to meet her.
I'm never too busy to learn. Let's go. From day 40 to day 43, I followed the raccoon to the Araucaria Savannah.
She's really excited to meet you.
Oh geez, but I'm just a noob dragon. I'm still learning.
Yeah, but you were brave enough to stand up to the Ender Dragon. That's a big deal. Here she is.
I saw a huge, tough lightning dragon sunning herself in the middle of the savannah. It sure was a sight to see.
You must be Zozo. I'm so happy to meet you. I know you're looking to get stronger and learn more about being a dragon. I've been a dragon for a pretty long time, so I hope I can help.
That would be awesome! Can you help me get better at breathing fire? Before she could answer, an ender blaze jumped out from behind a tree and landed right in front of us.
Well, look what I found. A couple of traitors working together.
Who the heck are you?
I'm the guy that's gonna teach you a lesson about opposing the Ender Dragon.
The Ender Blaze fired a missile at me, and I just barely managed to dodge it. Help! The Lightning Dragon gave me some of her power to fight the Ender Blaze. I felt myself get bigger and stronger too, but just when we thought we defeated him, he kept attacking.
You've done a great job here today, Zozo, but you need to get out of here. I'll keep this guy busy. Go!
From day 44 to day 49, I flew back to my base. I hope the Lightning Dragon is okay. I didn't have too much time to think about it though, because the warped toad came to see me.
Zozo, I have some news. My research has pointed me to a weapon that I believe will help you defeat the Ender Dragon. It is a netherite axe, a powerful axe made by combining a diamond axe with netherite ingots.
Oh, I have some diamonds already.
Excellent. And you have the amount of diamonds required to craft a diamond axe?
Well, no, I need to go get more diamonds.
Then hop to it, young dragon. Time is of the essence.
I get it. Hop, like a toad. Very funny.
This is no laughing matter, Zozo. Much is at stake. Good luck.
On the encouragement of the warped toad, I headed down into the mine and started digging for diamonds. Phew, all this mining is hard work, but it'll be worth it when I finally defeat the Ender Dragon. It took a while, but I found some diamonds, enough to make a diamond axe. Now I just need to figure out where I can find a netherite ingot. From day 50 to day 53, I started my quest to find some netherite ingots and build the netherite axe. I ventured out to the crag gardens to see what I could learn. When I got there, a cleric came up to me.
Greetings, little dragon. Are you a friend of the warped toad?
I am. What can you tell me about a netherite axe?
Well, the Ender Dragon is vulnerable to netherite weapons, according to stories I have heard. She isn't able to melt them with her fiery breath the way she would ordinary metal weapons. The combination of diamond and netherite makes it indestructible to her.
That's great news. Do you know where I can find some netherite?
Now that I'm afraid I don't know. I wish you luck though.
Okay, well thanks for the info. I started to head back to my base. As I was walking, a fireball hit the ground just a few feet away from me. Hey, what gives? I could see a fire dragon just up ahead.
I'm so sorry. I wasn't aiming for ya. I was aiming for those zombies.
Sure enough, he was fighting a horde of zombies. Want some help with that?
Yeah, I've got this.
He shot another fireball out of his mouth and blew up the rest of the zombies without any trouble at all. Whoa, that was awesome! Say, do you want to team up with me and help me fight the Ender Dragon?
No thanks, I'm good. Sorry kid, but I fly solo. Good luck with whatever you're doing though. Sounds like you're gonna need it.
From day 54 to day 57, I explored the crag garden some more. If I were some netherite, where would I be? Just as I was searching, the Ender Blaze popped up behind me again.
I don't know about netherite, but it looks like there's plenty of loserite here. Because you're a loser, you tiny noob dragon.
Ah, the Ender Blaze is back! I drew my weapon and got ready for a fight, but he was still way bigger and stronger than me. Oh no, I can't beat him yet.
And you never will. All hail the Ender Dragon. May her fire cleanse the land of all weakness.
I didn't have any choice but to run away as fast as I could. Next time I see that guy, I'll be ready. Meanwhile, back in the wooded Red Rock Mountains, the Ender Dragon was floating back and forth.
It's all coming together marvelously. Soon there will be only dragons and those who serve us. Any of my kind that refuse to join me will be dealt with swiftly. All else will be burned to ash or reduced to nothing but dust.
From day 58 to day 62, I went back to my base to check things out and figure out my next step. When I got there, I noticed something was different. There were walls. Wow, this looks great. The iron golem stepped forward.
Glad you think so. My mother always taught me that a good house guest helps out however they can. And I had some spare time, so I built some bigger walls.
Thank you. I still think the base needs something else though.
Maybe something decorative?
Yeah, like a statue. I know. I'll build a statue of an adult dragon to remind myself what I'm working toward. When I look like the statue, I'll know I'm done growing up. I gathered some materials and started constructing my adult dragon statue. Then I added some banners to the base to spruce up the place even more. Next, I used my diamonds to craft myself a diamond axe. What a great day! I'm one step closer to having what I need to defeat the Ender Dragon. I just have to stay brave and keep going. From day 63 to day 66, the cleric came to visit me at my base.
Zozo, the time has come for you to gather the remaining materials for the netherite axe. In order to find netherite, you must enter the nether.
Okay, how do I do that?
Through a portal, dear dragon. There is one I can lead you to, and once it is operational, you will be able to travel through it to the nether.
Oh, okay, neat.
Follow me, Zozo.
I followed the cleric out to the snowy blue taiga.
This is where the portal is. Unfortunately, it appears to be broken. You will not be able to pass through it until it has been repaired.
Oh, bummer. How do we fix it?
That I cannot tell you. I will return to my research and see what I can learn. In the meantime, explore this area and see if you can unlock the secrets of the portal for yourself.
I never could have dreamed becoming an adult dragon would be so much work, but I was ready for the challenge. If I needed a working portal to help me complete my quest, I would find a way to make it work. From day 67 to day 70, I wandered around the snowy blue taiga, looking for clues that might help me fix the broken portal.
Zozo, is that you, buddy?
Oh hey, Komodo Carl! What brings you all the way out here?
I came out here to visit some friends, but I ran into an ice dragon causing all kinds of trouble, freezing my vacation house.
Oh no, let's go see if we can stop it. I followed Komodo Carl to his vacation home, and sure enough, there was a great big ice dragon stomping all over the place. Hey, what are you doing? Cut that out!
You work for that infernal Ender Dragon. You can't tell me what to do.
I don't work for her anymore.
A likely story. Nice to meet you, little dragon. Prepare to be frozen in your tracks.
Then the ice dragon rushed at me and attacked. I had gotten a lot stronger and better at fighting though, and I was able to defeat him and knock him down. Please, listen to me. I don't work for the Ender Dragon anymore. In fact, I'm trying to stop her, but I need help to do it. If you join me, maybe we can stop her once and for all.
That would be more productive than taking out my rage on this random vacation home. You know what? I will join you.
From day 71 to day 74, I returned to my base and found the Ender Blaze had beaten me to it. He was launching fireballs at everything in sight and had already knocked down one of the walls completely. No, stop that!
If you want me to stop so badly, you'll have to fight me.
What if I'm not strong enough? I guess I'll have to try anyway. I attacked the Ender Blaze, but he knocked me down. He's still too strong. What do I do?
Perish.
He attacked me, but I dodged it.
Get away from our base, you fiend!
The Iron Golem attacked the Ender Blaze, but the Ender Blaze grabbed him.
I'll take this. Smell you later, foolish baby dragon.
The two of them teleported away in the blink of an eye. He'd kidnapped my friend. No! That was too far. I needed to get strong enough to beat the Ender Blaze so I could save the Iron Golem who had helped me so much. I won't let you down, Iron Golem, no matter what. I can promise you that much. First, I had to repair the damage to my base. I rebuilt the busted wall and added a guard tower and a fence for extra protection in case Ender Dragon sent any more minions to attack me. Looking at my hard work, I couldn't help but feel regret for not putting in all these security features earlier. Meanwhile, back in the Red Rock Mountains.
Excellent work, Ender Blaze. Without his little friend to help him, Zozo stands no chance. Not that he had one to begin with. There is none mightier than the Ender Dragon in all the land. And soon, everyone will bow down to me.
From day 75 to day 78, the Warped Toad came to see me at my base.
Zozo, I heard about what happened. I'm so sorry, little one. But all hope is not lost.
I know, I just have to work harder.
And you just need the right equipment. I'm sure you know by now that diamond weapons are more effective against the Ender Dragon, but they're also most effective against his Ender Blaze as well. I brought you this, and it should help you in your quest.
He handed me a diamond sword. Thank you. Do you know where the Ender Blaze might have taken my friend?
Yes, that was my second gift. You didn't give me a chance to show you. Anyway, here it is. Take this map, and it will lead you there. You've come a long way already, Zozo. I know you can do it.
Thank you. Armed with the map and my new diamond sword, I headed off to confront the Ender Blaze for what I hoped would be the last time. From day 79 to day 84, I followed the map to the Ender Blaze's base. Give me back my friend, you monster! He came out of the base to face me. I could see the Iron Golem trapped behind him.
Oh, I'm a monster, am I? And you aren't? For betraying the Ender Dragon, who took you under her wing and taught you what it means to be a dragon?
Being a dragon isn't about hurting innocent people and being a bully. She's a liar.
And you're a loser. Please, feel free to fight me again if you're so eager to taste defeat once more.
I drew my sword and attacked as fast as I could. He blocked my attack with ease, and I started to get worried. Oh no, is this new sword enough to defeat him?
Of course it's not.
He hit me hard, knocking me down. It was looking like things might be over for me, when suddenly the Ice Dragon slammed into the Ender Blaze.
Not so fast.
I thought you only worked alone.
I usually do, but I'm not gonna let the Ender Dragon ruin everything for our kind. Let's teach this guy a lesson. Here, take this.
He tossed me a dragon enhancement potion, which I drank quickly. Ugh, tastes gross. Even though it didn't taste good, the potion made me transform into a full-grown adult dragon, and I gained hearts.
Not such a little dragon anymore. Now, let's handle this Ender Blaze.
With the Ice Dragon's help and my brand new strength and size, we were finally able to defeat him and free the Iron Golem. From day 85 to day 89, I headed out to the Badlands to collect some terracotta I could use to finish off my statue. It was perfect timing, finishing the statue of an adult dragon when I was finally one myself. I returned to my base and put the finishing touches on the statue. That looks great! Then the cleric came back to see me.
Zozo, I have great news! I know how you can fix the nether portal. Take these obsidian blocks and use them to repair it. Then you can go through and collect the netherite you require.
Awesome! Thank you so much! I took the obsidian blocks and ventured back out to the snowy blue taiga where the broken portal was waiting for me. I used the blocks to fix the portal, and then I was ready to enter the nether. Wow, this place is kind of spooky. I looked around for a while, and I saw some ancient debris. Oh, that's it! If I get that ancient debris, I can get some netherite! But as I ran toward the ancient debris, an enderghast jumped out and attacked me! I don't have time for this! Get out of my way! With my new strength and size, it was easy to blow that enderghast away! Then I grabbed the ancient debris and headed back through the portal. Now I have everything I need! From day 90 to day 94, I emerged from the portal and was back in the snowy blue taiga. But my good mood didn't last long because the Ender Dragon was waiting for me.
Hello again, Zozo. You've grown, I see. Not a noob dragon any longer. You're a mighty beast now. Join me, come and work for me again. And together, we will conquer this puny land.
No, I'll never join you. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, well, you're just mean.
If that is your choice, then so be it. Hey, what's that behind you?
When I turned to look, she snatched the ancient debris out of my hands. Hey, give that back!
No, I don't think I will. I'll give you something to keep you busy, though.
As she got ready to fly away, she dropped a cage on me. I was trapped. From day 95 to day 97, I used my fiery breath to destroy the cage so I could escape. Yay, I'm out! But now what should I do? I know, I'll go see the warped toad and ask him what to do. I traveled to the enchanted forest and tracked down the warped toad. When I arrived, he was lying on the ground, dying. Who did this to you?
The Ender Dragon. She attacked me. I don't have much time. Listen to me. She's taken what she stole from you back to her base. You'll have to go there and retrieve it. Thank you for your heroism, Zozo. Goodbye.
No! I'll make her pay for this, I swear! On day 98, I returned to my base and was greeted by a horrible sight. My base was completely destroyed while I was gone. She must have come here too. Curse her! This is terrible! I looked around for my friends that were living there, but they were gone. Oh no, what do I do? My base, my leader, my friends, she took everything from me. Not everything. I turned around and the Ice Dragon was there. I'm sorry you're sad, Zozo, but I can help. If the two of us team up, I think we can take down the Ender Dragon together. What should we do?
We'll gather up our weapons and supplies, and we'll head to her base together. Then, we'll fight as hard as we can.
Okay, let's do it. On day 99, the Ice Dragon and I journeyed into the wooded Red Rock Mountains where the Ender Dragon's base was.
Ready?
Not really, but I don't have much of a choice. Let's give it our best shot.
Hello, traitors. Come to grovel at my claws?
The Ender Dragon rushed us both. No, we're here to take you down.
Ha! Funny joke, but I'm finished laughing. Time to taste defeat.
Time for you to freeze. The Ice Dragon attacked the Ender Dragon, but she dodged the attack and came back with an even harder hit. She knocked the Ice Dragon down, and he didn't get back up. No! I attacked next, but the Ender Dragon was still way too strong. I did get one good hit in though, and she dropped the ancient debris. With no other choice, I grabbed it and ran all the way back to my base. There, I was finally able to craft the netherite axe. When I did, I felt the strength coursing through my body, and when I looked up, the Ice Dragon and Lightning Dragon were back. You're alive! Sure am, and I'm ready for round 2. On day 100, the dragons and I returned to the Ender Dragon's base. We can't let this lady keep giving dragons a bad name. Let's show her what it really means to be a dragon. All together, we attacked the base. The lightning dragon and the ice dragon worked together to fight off her minions, while I went inside to find the ender dragon. Your days of stepping on the little guy are done.
Ready to lose again so soon? If you're so eager, then let's fight.
Well, I've got this now. I pulled out the netherite axe, and she actually looked a little bit scared.
How did you get that?
With a lot of help, because unlike you, I believe in kindness and friendship and kicking your butt. I ran at her with the axe and started fighting. This time, I knew I was strong enough. Before long, I delivered the final blow, and the ender dragon fell to the ground. Finally, there can be peace between dragons and the rest of the world. On day 1, I spawned in as a mutant dragon. Whoa, I'm a dragon, but it looks like I'm a mutant one. I had spawned deep underground in a mine shaft, and I noticed I had an iron pickaxe equipped already. Looks like there's one thing to do: dig. I figured every good dragon needed a treasure hoard, and since I was a mutant dragon, I needed to find some uranium to fill my lair. Most dragons would prefer gold or silver, but uranium is perfect for me. As I was digging, I stumbled on some ore, but a bar guest showed up and attacked me. Wait, I'm just a kid. I was so afraid that I dropped my pickaxe as I ran for it. If I was a full-grown dragon, I could have handled him no problem. But because my mutation was still weak, the only way I could survive was by running. I'm just a hatchling for now, and I only have 4 hearts. I tried to make my way to the surface, but I was intercepted by another bar guest. Oh no, I guess there was more than one. I was boxed in on all sides with no escape.
Ha ha ha! I got you! Now I can eat this dragon and absorb his mutagens to become unstoppable.
Well, this isn't good. I was dragged away and thrown into a cage. On day 2, the bar guest brought in another prisoner who had also planned on eating. At first, I thought he was the normal rooster, but when I looked again, I realized that he was a cockatrice.
Dinner! Meet the appetizer! We hope you two can get along.
When the bar guests left us alone together inside of the prison, the cockatrice ran around the cage in fear.
Ah! Don't eat me!
It's alright, I might be a little mutated, but I'm a dragon just like you. That means I'm a friend. Call me Zozo.
Oh, thank goodness! Another dragon! I thought I was gonna become a chicken dinner. My name's Rusty.
Nice to meet you. I bet if we work together, we could break out of this place.
Well, I do have the ability to chew through stone. All cockatrices do.
Perfect, let's do that. Rusty ate through the stone floor of the prison, and we were able to make our escape. But we were soon interrupted by a huge pit with lava at the bottom.
Oh no, we can't go any further.
Don't worry, Rusty. I've got abilities too. I had Rusty get on top of my back, and together we jumped out into the pit. I used my mutant wings to glide slowly towards the opposite side. And just like that, we had made it past the lava pit.
That was impressive, Zozo.
Thanks, Rusty. We stayed underground for a little while longer before Rusty dug us a path back to the surface. We decided to split up for now so that the bar guests would have to do the same to catch us. On day 3, I found myself inside of a strange forest that I didn't recognize. I wasn't sure if I was still in bar guest territory, so I wanted to lay low, but my hunger meter had other plans. I have to eat something, fast! I skulked around the woods and ambushed some cows for meat. It seemed like I was the only mutant animal around, so all the other ones were scared of me. I had to be extra careful if I wanted to hunt successfully. I also picked up some fruits and vegetables because dragons are omnivores. We'll eat anything. Just then, I noticed there was a bizarre creature approaching me.
Greetings.
Who are you?
What? You don't recognize a fellow mutant when you see one?
I'm a mutant dragon. What are you a mutant of?
I am half mutant crab and half mutant brain. Call me Dr. Invertebrain.
I don't get it, but that's okay. I'm Zozo.
You need to listen to me, Zozo. There are a lot of enemies after us mutants right now, and I've got some knowledge that can keep us safe.
How do I know I can trust you?
Because I'm a brain. It's my job to be smart and think of things, so you just leave that part to me. This way.
Then Dr. Invertebrain crab walked deeper into the forest. I wasn't sure if I should follow him, but I felt like I'd be in more danger if I didn't. On days 4 to 5, I caught up with Dr. Invertebrain, and he told me more about the enemies that were coming after mutants like me.
You've probably caught on a little bit, but there are creatures out there that think they can steal our mutant powers by eating us. We mutants can unlock special abilities that no one else has, and because we are so rare, the ones who want our powers will stop at nothing to capture and consume us.
That doesn't sound fun. I'm happy with being a mutant and having unique abilities, but being attacked because of it is going to make my life so much harder.
Mine too. I suggest you try to awaken your greater mutant powers as soon as you can. Those will help protect you against the enemies.
Thanks for the tip, Doc.
One more thing. Here are some stone tools to replace the pickaxe you lost. Another way to keep safe is to make a base where they can't get to you.
With the new set of stone tools that Dr. Invertebrain had given me in hand, I set off in search of a safe area to build my base. It had to be a place where I could keep a nice treasure hoard, as well as store all the food I had gathered up in the strange forest. I reached a small valley between two hills and decided that it would work. I began working on my base straight away, and it was coming together nicely. Eventually, I'll have a nice big lair where I can store all of my belongings. I had barely started when the same bar guest from before showed up again.
You won't escape this time, Zozo.
Suddenly, he attacked with full force, trying to capture me again. I drew my stone sword and tried to fight back, but he was too strong. That's when I remembered what Dr. Invertebrain said to me back in the forest. I have to unlock my greater mutant powers. I concentrated, and seconds later, I was able to use a breath weapon of green energy that blasted the Barghest back. It wasn't fire like you might expect for most dragons, but I wasn't most dragons. I was a mutant dragon, and the Barghest was done for. Suddenly, I felt my dragon powers tingling, and I started to get bigger. And whoa, I've gained 6 more hearts. I felt stronger than ever before. Maybe I could do this after all. On days 6 to 8, I left the base to go search for Rusty. I figured since the Barghest wouldn't be bothering me anymore, he would also want to know. I had a feeling that my problems as a mutant were far from over, but at least I could tell my fellow dragon friend that he was safe. I wonder what Invertebrain really meant about enemies. It couldn't have been just the Barghest, because they were pushovers once I activated my real powers. This thought stayed with me until I met up with Rusty next to the strange woods. Hey, Rusty!
Zozo!
I took care of those guys that were trying to eat us. We should be safe now.
That's great news, but you should still be careful, Zozo. I've heard that there's a bad guy on the loose who is trying to gain mutant powers the same way that those Barghests wanted to.
Sounds bad. I'll keep my eyes out. Thanks, Rusty. When I got back to my base, Dr. Invertebrain was waiting there. I told him that it was true that there was still a bad guy out there hunting mutants, and he agreed to tell me more.
I too know about this evil hunter of mutants. In fact, I once had to deal with him face to death. His name is Zed, and he is the Duke of Dragons.
The Duke of Dragons? You mean the ruler of dragonkind is after me, even though I'm a dragon?
It makes no difference to Duke Zed whether you are a dragon or not. As long as you are a mutant, he will try to steal your powers. From now on, you must be wary of every dragon you meet.
Did that also include Rusty? I was starting to get worried about our friendship. There has to be a way I can go live with other dragons, even though I've been mutated.
There is one way. If you find a way to pass your mutant powers onto someone else, then Zed would have no reason to come after you.
That might work. Do you have anyone in mind?
I just might, but in order to do it, we need a power transfer stone, which can only be found on Sunny Mountain.
In that case, I'm off to get the stone. On days 9 to 10, I made the trip out to Sunny Mountain to seek out the power transfer stone that Dr. Invertebrain had told me about. I had to find a way to become a normal dragon so I wouldn't have to worry about people trying to steal my mutant powers. The path up the mountain had no trees, so the sun was beating down directly on me. Now I know where the name comes from. Farther along, I noticed a ruined set of standing stones, and I thought that maybe that was where the power transfer stone was. I went over to investigate, and a Geonock appeared.
So, another mutant has come to claim the power transfer stone. Dream on! I am the stone's protector, and you should turn back now.
No way! Getting that stone is super important to me. If I have to fight you for it, then consider this battle begun! I unleashed my breath attack, but the Geonock seemed resilient to my mutant powers. I realized I would have to use my sword for this, but it was stone against stone, so it wasn't doing anything either.
Will you not turn back, even though it is futile?
Of course not! I will never give up!
Then perish.
You first.
Right when I needed help the most, a sunbird swooped down and gave the Geonock the hot foot with its fire breath. The Geonock's outer layer started to weaken, so I hit him with my sword until the battle was over. I went to retrieve the power transfer stone from the standing rock formation, and then I thanked the sunbird that had helped me. We flew down the mountain together, stopping at the bottom of it for a quick chat. Thanks for the help. I'm Zozo.
I am Tibernius, the winged warrior, and I am on a quest to find the next Duke of the Dragons. I saw that you were a dragon in danger, so I dove in to rescue you.
That was very nice of you, but I've got nothing to do with any Duke of Dragons. That's by choice. Anyway, I need to get this power transfer stone back to an ally of mine. Don't tell anyone I was here. On days 11 to 12, I found that Dr. Invertebrain was still living at my base, which was what I was hoping for since I planned to give him the power transfer stone. I retrieved the stone, Doc.
Ah, perfect. My plan is going perfectly. By that I mean our plan is going perfectly.
I didn't think it was that funny. But anyway, what else do I need to do in order to transfer my powers away?
Eager to get to the next phase, are we? Well then, pay attention, because this is where things are really going to get challenging.
I'm listening.
You must place the power transfer stone within the mouth of a magic idol that sits on a nearby island. I'll show you how to get there.
Excellent. I can't wait to be free of my powers.
I can't wait either.
I still didn't know what Dr. Invertebrain was laughing about, but I figured he was just remembering an inside joke. On my way to Idle Island, I stopped by an open cave to dig for iron ore. A strong suit of armor should protect me in case anyone working for Duke Zed tries to capture me. Unfortunately, the cave was full of hyenas, so I needed to do multiple sweeps with my green energy breath weapon to clear them out. Once I had cleared the cave of the hyenas, I collected the iron ore. Then I went back outside and flew off towards Idle Island. On days 13 to 15, I came ashore on the island and saw the idol waiting for me to place the power transfer stone in its mouth. There were signs all over the place with messages that said, "Here, Zozo," and "Transfer your power here." I want to feel welcome, but I'm starting to just feel creeped out instead. Was Dr. Invertebrain not telling me something about the idol? Maybe he had been planning to do something with the power transfer stone for longer than I thought. But then again, he'd still have to have known my name, and we didn't meet that long ago. This was getting too weird. So instead of placing the stone inside the idol, I jumped back into the air and flew back towards my base. I needed answers about all of this, and I was convinced that only the good doctor could give them to me. On days 16 to 19, I was surprised to run into Dr. Invertebrain in the field while I was still on my way to the base. He noticed that I still had the power transfer stone in my possession.
Why didn't you put the stone in the idol's mouth like I asked?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to not listen to you, but that place was really weird, and I have some questions about what has been going on.
Questions for me? Well, I am a brain, so I should be smart enough to give some good answers.
First, why hasn't Zed sent any minions after me? You said he would, but I haven't seen any signs of it. Second, why did it seem like you had been to that island and knew my name before you met me?
You should ask better questions, Zozo. Those will get us nowhere. Just leave the rest of the thinking to me, will you?
Alright, but I'm still confused. When I made it back to the base, I was startled to see Tibernius the Sunbird there waiting for me.
It is you! You're the one I've been looking for! We need your help quickly! The Duchy of Dragons is under attack!
The Duchy of Dragons? Isn't that the place ruled by Duke Zed of the Dragons? Wait, did you say I was…
There's no time! You're the only one who can stop that madman Dr. Invertebrain!
What? It couldn't be true. I followed Tibernius, and the two of us hurried to the Duchy of Dragons. Once we got there, I saw that it was being attacked by Dr. Invertebrain. He was using mutant powers to destroy the buildings. Invertebrain, stop this! What are you doing?
I tried to do this the nice way, but you chose to defy me. Now, because of you, your people will suffer.
I don't understand. You said the dragons wanted my powers.
No, you fool! I want your powers so I can become the most powerful mutant who ever lived, and I would have had them too if you had just placed the stone in the idol.
I'm not doing that. I'm not listening to you anymore. You're going down. I charged in and prepared to use my powers, but he hit me with a mutant energy attack before I could. Due to the power of it, I was knocked out cold. On days 20 to 22, I woke up and saw that the Duchy of Dragons had been completely destroyed. There was no sign of Dr. Invertebrain anywhere. What was even worse was that the power transfer stone was gone from my inventory. He must have stolen it from me after I was knocked out.
You're awake! I guess Invertebrain still needs you alive.
Tibernius, I'm so sorry. I was too weak to stop him.
Don't worry, Zozo. I've gathered the remaining dragons and told them that you could make it up to them by giving them a new home in your base.
You did? Well, how can I say no? It seems like everyone got in a whole bunch of trouble because of me.
Nothing of the sort. There is still hope because of you.
The faces of many dragons looked at me, and they didn't seem upset. It was like they saw me as one of their own, and not a mutant. I promise, I'll do everything I can to keep you safe at my base, or my name isn't Zozo, the Mutant Dragon. I spent the rest of the days gathering materials and expanding the base outward so it looked like the new Duchy of Dragons. I added a bunch of houses for the dragons and a bridge to connect them all. I wanted to make it feel like the home they lost and provide a safe space for them. On days 23 to 26, I was searching a nearby mountain for some gold that normal dragons really like and found a hidden canyon with loads of it. The canyon seemed to be crawling with aggressive macas, which seemed to be very territorial and seems like they could deal a lot of damage. I better go out of my way to avoid a fight. I went deeper into the canyon undetected, but it turned out that some of the others weren't so lucky. I saw a zombie getting attacked by the macas. He looked like a mutant too, just like me, and was punching them with his green fists. Hey, fellow mutant, we should work together. I can help you.
No way! You're just gonna try and steal my powers, aren't you? Just like Invertebrain.
I promise I won't. He tried to do that to me too.
It sounds like we've got a common enemy then. Okay, I'll accept a hand.
I jumped in to help and used my energy blast to scatter the macas so the mutant zombies could take them out one by one with his punches. Together, we defeated all of them with ease.
Thanks for the assist. I had almost given up on my fellow mutant. Here's a tip about unlocking your powers as a reward.
The mutant zombie showed me how to focus my energy into my limbs like he did. Thanks to his demonstration, I could jump super high with an energy-powered wing boost. Thank you. I'll make sure to put this power to good use.
If you see Dr. Invertebrain, give him the old one too for me.
On days 27 to 31, I found some sheep wandering through a burnt plain.
Meh. So hungry.
What happened to all the grass here, guys?
There was some kind of evil energy blast, and all the grass got burned up. We used to graze here all the time, but now it's gone.
Don't worry, the grass is always greener on the other side of the valley. And by that I mean, my base has some grass you could eat.
Meh. Thank you.
The sheep and I returned to my base. I then built them an enclosure around a grassy field where they could live and eat peacefully. After that, I went to see Tibernius and noticed he had created a training area where everyone could practice sword skills.
We need to be ready in case of another attack, especially because Duke Zed and his noble guard have gone missing.
That's right, I almost forgot. There are still some dragons that fled the city during Dr. Invertebrain's attack. We've got to make sure to find them.
I'm sure they'll turn up, but for now, we should prepare for Invertebrain's next move.
Meanwhile, unknown to myself and Tibernius, the evil doctor had been growing more powerful. He had captured that mutant zombie I had met in the hidden canyon and was using the power transfer stone and the island idol to drain the zombie's powers and add them to his own.
You'll never get away with this, Invertebrain.
Oh, but I already have. And I'll keep transferring the powers of every other mutant to myself until I'm all powerful.
On days 32 to 35, I was mining for more materials when I encountered a group of fire dragons. Are you refugees from the Duchy?
It's one of them mutants that destroyed the Duchy. Get him!
Uh-oh, they must think I'm working with Invertebrain. I used my mutant wings and glided to the other side of the group of dragons. I didn't want to attack them, so I tried a diplomatic approach. I promise that I'm the good guy.
Don't lie to us, dragons. We've been deceived before.
Just when I thought nothing could work, a bigger dragon appeared who looked like he was their leader.
Stop this at once. Do not attack Zozo anymore. He has fought bravely to protect his fellow dragons, as I knew he would.
You know my name?
I know a great many things about you, young dragon, for I am Duke Zed, the Duke of all dragons.
You're Duke Zed? I was told you would try to steal my powers, but I'm guessing that was another one of Dr. Invertebrain's lies.
Indeed it was. He tried to turn us against each other, but the truth is that we share a strong bond.
A strong bond? What did he mean by that? I had never met this dragon before in my life, but somehow what he was saying felt like it was true in my heart. I had to know more. Duke Zed, please return to my base and tell me everything. I need to know about Invertebrain and why I've always had these mutant powers.
No, I cannot. It is too risky for myself and the rest of these dragons to be out in the open, but if you need my help, you can find me in the underground.
Well, that's good enough for me. For now, I'm going to let Tibernius know that you're okay, but I'll be back soon to hear more of the truth.
I will be looking forward to it, young dragon.
On days 36 to 39, I decided to get prepared for the next battle by getting my armor to iron. I crafted an entire set from the iron I had collected a while ago. Not too shabby if I do say so myself. I also wanted to upgrade my tools. Since I had access to several caves with iron ore deposits in them, I started from there and kept digging until I had enough iron. Wow, these are some awesome mines. I should look to see if I can find even more cool stuff. Further down in the cave, I found a treasure chest, and inside was a unique weapon, an enchanted crossbow that could fire endirophage rockets at enemies. These rockets are made of parts that you can only get in the end. The explosions caused by these rockets could be useful later down the line. I went back to the base in order to show Tibernius the cool weapon that I found. When I arrived, there was another guest inside of the training area, a warped toad. Tibernius was standing by, so I knew it was okay.
Hello, I'm Warpo. It is riveting to meet you.
I'm Zozo.
Oh, I'm well aware. Every mutant has heard of you now. You're the mutant dragon who defied Dr. Invertebrate.
You're a mutant too, Warpo?
Why, yes I am. There's somebody I need to take you to see. It's an old friend who has some important news about the battle between good mutants and evil mutants.
You should go, Zozo. Don't worry about the base. I will defend it for you.
Thanks, Tibernius. That makes me feel a lot more secure.
It'll be a few days' journey, but I promise you that what they have to say is worth the journey.
All right then, Warpo. Let's get a move on. On days 40 to 43, I traveled with Warpo until we arrived at the home of the person he wanted me to talk to. It turned out to be none other than the mutant zombie that I had helped before. He was now just a normal zombie because Dr. Invertebrate had drained his mutant powers. He told me everything about the power transfer stone and the island's idol. So that's what would have happened to me if I had gone through with it. Glad I avoided that.
Us too. You're the only mutant whose powers come close to matching Dr. Invertebrate's. That's why he wants your powers most of all.
That might be true, but how can I become more powerful than him? The last time we fought, he knocked me out easily.
That's why we're here. I managed to steal back the power transfer stone while Invertebrate wasn't looking. Now we can transfer Warpo's mutant powers to you and make you stronger.
Are you okay with that, Warpo?
That I am. Dr. Invertebrate must be stopped, and I'm willing to give up my own powers if it means you can take him down.
Then let's get to it.
That's what I like to hear. Go ahead and place your hands on the stone.
Just then, a giant crab burst into the house and attacked us.
Hand over my brother's power transfer stone, or I'll put the squeeze on you with my claws.
Your brother? Do you mean Dr. Invertebrate?
Yeah, I'm Herma, his non-mutant crab brother. Even though my brother is evil and a mutant, I'm as loyal as they come.
So am I, you crusty crab. Zozo, Warpo, I'll hold this guy off. Make the transfer, and hurry!
And with that, the zombie who used to be a mutant pulled out a sword and started fighting with Herma. I turned to Warpo, and the two of us used the power transfer stone to give his powers to me.
It worked! Now run for it!
We all split up, and Herma didn't know which one of us had the stone, so he kept rampaging and wrecking the zombie's house. I was the one who had it though, and as I retreated back to my base, I could feel the strength that Warpo had given me running through my veins. I could tell I was closer than before to being strong enough to defeat Dr. Invertebrate. On days 44 to 49, Zed showed up at the base with the remaining dragons. I did my best to make sure they felt welcome. After that, I made sure no one was coming towards the base by checking the surrounding area. Once I knew everyone was safe, I met with Zed alone. I thought you were going to stay in hiding.
I was, but learning of a certain powerful item changed all of that. I think that my subjects and I have discovered the key to defeating Invertebrate.
Go on.
We have reason to believe that there is a way to build an idol just like Invertebrate's. An idol that can amplify the power transfer stone and allow you to take his mutant powers before he takes yours.
You mean I could defeat him by giving him a taste of his own power-stealing medicine?
Exactly, Zozo. But it will require you to build the idol in a particular shape before you switch the power on.
Whatever must be done, I'll do it. Thanks, Zed. You're actually a really cool guy. I began to build the specific structure needed to house the idol. It was important that I get this right, because I was up against one of the most powerful brains in the world. When it was prepared, I left the base in search of the rest of the idol. On days 50 to 53, I went to a village that Zed said would be able to give me information about building the idol. It was an island village of crafters who specialized in building powerful idols like the one I found on the island so many days ago. They might have accidentally helped Invertebrate in the past, but today they would be able to help me. I asked the village blacksmith for information, and he turned out to be just as willing to help as I hoped.
The secret to the island's power is in the crystal eyes. The more pure the crystal is, the more it can amplify the energy of the stone that is placed inside of it.
See, do you know where I can find these crystal eyes?
They are extremely rare. Almost as rare in this world as, well, mutant are. I can't tell you anything more concrete than that. Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you anyway. I left the Idolcrafters village and decided to return to base. I was going back the way I came when I saw a mutant spider pig being attacked by a Pterodon, a fellow mutant. Hey, do you need help? Before I even managed to get close, the spider pig used a blast of mutant green energy to take down the Pterodon. Oh wow, it looks like you handled it just fine. Your powers are really strong. Do you want to lend them to me? The spider pig just shook its head and left. It didn't seem interested in sharing its power. So that's how it is. Every mutant for himself, I suppose. On days 54 to 57, I was still on my way home when Herma ambushed me out of the blue.
You thought you could escape, Zozo? Give me the power transfer stone.
Never, Herma. You'll just give it to your brother, Dr. Invertebrain, and he'll use it to take my powers away.
That is the plan.
His pincer attack hit me in the side, and it really hurt. I had taken a lot of damage, but fortunately, I was regenerating a lot faster than normal. This must be the power I got from Warpo, mutant regeneration.
So what if you can survive more of my attacks? I'll still cut you down to size.
Herma was a tough opponent, and even my mutant green energy blast wasn't able to scratch his powerful crab shell.
My brother used to practice his mutant powers on me all the time, so I've become resistant to it. You're nowhere near as strong as he is.
I only had one weapon left, and I needed to use it as a distraction. I blasted him with an Endurophage rocket. It didn't beat him, but it hurt him enough that I had time to escape. Meanwhile, Dr. Invertebrain was fighting a bunch of Geonox in a place that I had never been before. It turned out there was more than one power transfer stone in the world, and he was going to get the other one.
I should have done this a long time ago. Once I acquire the second power transfer stone, I'll outfit my idol with even greater crystal eyes, so I can transfer power from anywhere. Bwahaha!
On days 58 to 62, I returned to find out that my base now looked almost exactly like the old Duchy of Dragons. The fire dragons in Tibernius had been rebuilding it into a brand new capital city for the dragons, since the previous one was destroyed. I decided to join in and build a statue that would make this new home even more special for all the dragons living here. It would surely be the talk of the base when it was complete. For now, it didn't look much like it would turn out to be. I also decided to place a bunch of fire pits to keep the base well lit, even when it was dark outside. That way, no one could get lost in the dark. I went to the training area and saw that it needed more weapons, so I built a bunch of iron swords for everyone to use and handed them over to Tibernius.
These are some exceptional swords, Zozo. I will make sure that they are in the hands of exceptional warriors. Back to training, everyone.
After all that crafting, I was running low on iron, so I returned to the mines and went searching for some more. While I was at it, I also mined for diamonds. The diamond ore was less common than the iron ore, but with enough effort, I was able to find some. At the end of the day, I had enough diamonds to craft a diamond helmet and diamond chestplate. On days 63 to 66, the blacksmith from the Idolmaker's village showed up at my base. Welcome to the Noob Dragon base, blacksmith. I hope you have some good news to share with me.
I don't just have good news, I have great news. The village has located another source of crystal eyes, and these might be the purest form that we have ever found.
No way, that's incredible! If we can get those, then I'll be able to transfer Dr. Invertebrain's evil mutant powers to me and use them for good.
That's why I told you first. You were so nice when you came to visit the village. I thought we would lend you a hand in your quest.
Thank you so much. Will you lead me to where I can find the crystal eyes?
Of course, Zozo. Follow me.
We traveled away from the base for a couple days until we found the entrance to the crystal mine. The crystal eyes that we needed for the idol would be inside there, but it looked like it was guarded by some really big Geonox. Oh man, these guys guard everything cool. And if I remember right, they don't take much damage from mutant energy attacks.
Well, at least you know where it is now. We can come back when you are ready to take them on.
You're right. For now, we should be grateful that Dr. Invertebrain doesn't know where this is. On day 67 to 70, an old dragon friend came to see me at the base. It was Rusty. After all this time, he hadn't forgotten how we worked together to escape from those evil bar guests.
Zozo, it looks like you've gotten even more powerful since the last time I saw you.
You're looking very well too, Rusty.
I came by because another enemy is giving me trouble. I was hoping you could stand up to the mob so I could be safe. You know, like the last time we worked together.
Sure, Rusty. Anything for a friend. I followed Rusty back home to his farm, where a tremor elemental was destroying the fields.
That's the guy, Zozo. Go get him.
All right, Rusty, you wait inside. I'll handle this. I approached the tremor and tried a diplomatic approach to hopefully resolve the situation. But the tremor didn't listen. It just started attacking me instead. Have it your way then. I shot a blast of green energy at the tremor, stunning him in place. It seemed like my powers were growing even stronger. The tremor was helpless, so instead of defeating him, I spared him. You're not going to cause my friend Rusty any more trouble, but I do have a job for you, since you are an Earth Elemental. If you can talk to the big Geonox and have them let me into the Crystal Eye Mines, I'll treat you like a friend from now on. The tremor agreed, and because of that, I had a way into the Crystal Eye Mines when the time came, and that time would be arriving sooner than expected. On day 71 to 74, Herma had made his way to the base and was smashing down the dragon's houses. It was like the destruction of the duchy all over again. I can't let this happen to my dragon friends. Herma, you've gone too far.
Ooh, I'm shaking. Actually, no, I'm dancing. I'm dancing with joy because it's so much fun to stomp on your dragons.
My mutant powers wouldn't be that effective, so I focused on hitting it with my sword attacks and dodging his pincers using my wing boost. I had my regeneration, but even that wouldn't let me stay in the fight for long.
Nice try, Zozo, but you're not even half of the mutant my brother is. If I wanted to, I could end this right here, but instead, I'll just take your little power transfer stone.
With that, he hit me again and took the power transfer stone right out of my inventory. Give that back, Herma!
Oh, what are you gonna do about it? See you later, Zozo. My brother sends his regards.
Herma Crab walked out of the base and was gone. The feeling of defeat almost broke my heart, but I decided not to give up hope. I built back the parts of the base Herma destroyed and equipped the walls with cannons in case he returned. The time would soon arrive when the dragons would have to face not just Herma, but our real enemy, the evil mutant Dr. Invertebrain. Speaking of that dastardly villain, he had found the village of the Idolcrafters and was using his greater mutant powers to threaten them into revealing the location of the pure crystal eyes.
By now, my brother has successfully taken the first of the power transfer stones from Zozo. Once I get the purest crystal eyes, my idol will be able to take the power not only from Zozo, but from every mutant in the world. I will become the ultimate mutant just as I had planned to!
On days 75 to 78, Duke Zed announced that he and the Fire Dragon would be leaving to go back into hiding. I tried to persuade him to stay at the base where it was safe. Why do you have to leave, Zed? This base could be a new home for all dragonkind. Everyone worked so hard on it.
There is no point in staying here when Dr. Invertebrain could show up and destroy it, just like he did to our original home. Now that his brother Herma has the other power transfer stone, it is only a matter of time before he steals your power and becomes too powerful to stop.
What if I could take the stone back from Herma before he gives it to the doctor? I know that I failed before, but I refuse to give up when everybody needs me.
Very well, young dragon. I had always had high hopes for you and your courage has inspired me. Take this dragon orb. It will enhance your powers enough that you might be able to take the power transfer stone back.
Duke handed me a dragon orb, and I could feel the magic giving me a new level of power. But it didn't feel the same as my mutant powers. When you said powers, did you mean my mutant powers?
I mean your dragon powers. You were born to be the next Duke of Dragons. Hibernius saw that potential in you, and I am choosing to believe in it again. Go now and fight to save dragonkind.
I will, Duke Zed. Thank you for giving me the strength to fight. I left the base with the dragon orb and followed the tracks that Herma left behind. On days 79 to 84, I found Herma's base. It looked like a coliseum, and from the looks of things, Dr. Invertebrain hadn't shown up here yet, so there was still a chance that I could take back the power transfer stone. Herma, I'm here to fight you and take back the power transfer stone.
Haven't you learned your lesson? Like I said before, you're not half the mutant my brother is.
That may be true, but I'm more of a dragon than either of you, and Duke Zed gave me the dragon orb so I could win.
So that was Zed's plan. Let's see how it goes.
Even with the power of the dragon orb, Herma was incredibly tough. My attacks could damage him, but I still couldn't rely on my mutant powers. I flew up and dive-bombed him from above, but it was no use. Even if I had more anti-aerophage rockets, the battle was still going against me.
Time to call it quits, Zozo.
Herma swung its pincer at me. My regeneration wasn't fast enough. It looked like it was going to be lights out.
Not so fast.
When all hope was lost, Tibernius showed up and covered the arena in smoke. Thanks to that, we were able to sneak away. But Herma managed to hit Tibernius in the smoke. Tibernius, you're hurt.
Don't worry about me, Zozo. I have something you might want.
He gave me a power transfer stone.
I've always wondered what would happen if a non-mutant tried to transfer power through it. What do you say, Zozo? Will you accept my fire powers?
Of course! Let's fry this crab! I used the power transfer stone and sent all of the fire powers of a sunbird into me. Now I could breathe fire, just like a dragon. I was now larger, stronger, and capable of shooting strong flames. My hearts even doubled. You're toast, Herma!
Brother, I have failed you. No!
With Tibernius's powers, I defeated the crab and was able to keep the stone. On days 85 to 89, I collected more materials on the way back to the base. I could use these to complete the statue that I was planning to build for the dragons. I made it home and immediately put the finishing touches on it. It was a statue of a mighty fire dragon, a sign of strength, and a show of respect for all of the fire dragons that had moved on from this world so far. Of course, there was still the matter of defeating Invertebrain. With the help of the Tremor Elemental, I was able to talk my way past the giant Geonox and enter the mine with the crystal eyes. I went deep into the mine shaft where the villagers told me the purest crystal eye could be found. This mine was deeper and shinier than any I had ever been in, but because the crystal eyes were inside, I bravely made my way further in. When I made it to the chamber of the crystal eyes, I found a chest guarded by a giant lurker. The powerful enemy ran at me on sight and tried to bite me, but I was in my most powerful form now. I defeated it with a single blast from my fire breath and claimed the crystal eyes for myself. As I grabbed it though, I was temporarily poisoned due to the chest being trapped. On days 90 to 94, I returned to the entrance of the Crystal Eye Mine and found that Dr. Invertebrain was waiting for me. Of course, you were after the Crystal Eyes too. I should have known.
And thanks to you, I don't have to bother getting past those Geonox Guardians. Seems like you are helping me again, Zozo. Just like old times.
I will never help you again, Dr. Invertebrain. You betrayed me. I got those crystal eyes for one reason, to defeat you and save the dragons from your reign of destruction.
It wasn't me who betrayed you. You were the one who betrayed me. All you had to do was give up your mutant powers and you could live freely. But you sided with the dragons instead. And then you destroyed my brother. This is a warning, Zozo. Hand over the crystal eyes, and I will spare you after I take your powers. Disobey me, and I will wipe out both you and all the dragons, including Duke Zed.
I'm not afraid of you. I may not be as mutated as you, but I have Tibernius's fire powers and the dragon orb. I am everything that my friends made me. I will win.
So be it. This is your destruction!
Invertebrain used his strongest mutant powers against me, and it was even more than the level of power he was using when he destroyed the Duchy of Dragons. Back then, a single attack would have knocked me out in one hit, and even though I was stronger, the damage was still too much to handle. He knocked me down with a blast of mutant energy, and while I was stunned, took the crystal eyes away from me. How can you still be this strong?
How can you still be that weak? Whoa! Pitiful dragon, you will soon know what it means to be the only one of your kind, after I steal your mutant powers, that is.
Dr. Invertebrain got away with the crystal eyes. Even now, I was powerless to stop him. The hole he left behind was giant. On days 95 to 97, I was able to call upon enough mutant power to fly out of the hole that Dr. Invertebrain had trapped me in. Since I still had my powers, I knew that there was time to warn the others. Instead of heading to the base, I remembered what Zed told me and went to the underground to find him. If anyone could back me up in my next fight against the evil doctor, it had to be the Duke of Dragons. When I made it to where the fire dragons had been hiding out, I saw that I had been too late. Dr. Invertebrain had already found the dragon's secret base and attacked them. The dragons were injured, and it looked like many of them wouldn't make it.
Zozo, is that you? Zed is over that way, and he doesn't have much time either. You must talk to him before he goes.
I nodded and made my way to where Zed was lying down, dying. It was a sad sight to see the Duke of Dragons like that. Zed, I'm here. I'm so sorry. If you had the dragon orb, maybe this wouldn't have—
It's okay, young dragon. I always knew you were the only one who could stop our greatest nemesis, Invertebrain. He always planned to use the mutant power inside of you to conquer the world. And that is why he stole your egg from us before you hatched.
How do you know that, Zed? I didn't know where I came from before I hatched.
I remember your egg, a mutant dragon egg. It was different from the others, but still a dragon. Still my son, the next Duke of Dragons.
Zed, you're my dad?
Yes, young dragon. And when I'm gone, you will be crowned the Duke of Dragons. Take care of them, my son.
Zed was gone. I now knew everything. Invertebrain tried to raise me as his own, so he could someday take my powers away. But everything he tried had failed. The mutant he tried to steal would now become the dragon who defeated him. On day 98, I made it back to the base and found it in ruins. It seemed that Dr. Invertebrain had kept his wicked promise and wiped out the dragons. The fire dragons, the ones from the duchy, and even Rusty. Every last one of them had been destroyed. It was horrible. On some level, I felt like it was all my fault, and the guilt of not being able to save them weighed heavily on me. Was this your plan, Invertebrain? To take everyone I cared about away, so I wouldn't have anything left to fight for? It was only a matter of time until my powers were transferred to Dr. Invertebrain. He would get to that island with the idol, and then I wouldn't stand a chance against him. This is hopeless.
There is always hope, Zozo. Your father believed this.
Hibernius!
Look at me, Zozo. I gave my fire powers to you because I believed in you. And even in my powerless form, I still believe in you.
What can we do? He was always stronger than me, and even if I win, I can't bring everyone back.
Perhaps you can. Remember what powers you have now. If you have the pure crystal eyes, you'll be able to transfer power into yourself, but also to others.
Of course. If I transfer your fire power to the dragons, along with my regeneration, the combined power could revive them.
There's only one way to find out. Let's take those crystal eyes back.
Together, Tibernius and I vowed to do just that. On day 99, I raced to the Idol Island to confront Dr. Invertebrain. The 2 power transfer stones and crystal eyes were floating next to the idol, and he was about to combine them. I dive-bombed over and grabbed the crystal eyes and power stones from the magic stones they were on.
Zozo, you dare disobey me again?
I dare. You thought you could crush my spirit, but like I've said time and time again, I don't give up.
You're not thinking straight, that's why. Only I have the brains to rule this world. You should have just let me do the thinking.
Your thinking stinks, Doc. I'm going to fix the damage you've done. I flew high into the sky with the crystal eyes and power transfer stones, then glided over the water to land on the mainland shore. There was no way that crab could catch up to me now. I zoomed back to the base and placed those pure crystal eyes next to the idol that I had built many days ago. Then I flipped a switch to combine them. Please work, please work! I let my powers go, and they flowed into the machine to be given to all of my fallen dragon friends. The fires within the dragons began to reignite, and they regenerated back to life. Rusty was the first to show up. He ran over to me and jumped for joy.
I'm saved. You did it, Zozo. Giving us your mutant regeneration power saved us.
Don't forget the fire power too, courtesy of Tibernius.
You better believe I won't forget it. I feel all warm inside and fired up. Put an end to that Dr. Invertebrain once and for all.
Thanks, Rusty. I'll make sure to defeat that Brainiac once and for all, and make the land safe for all mutants and dragons alike. On day 100, Dr. Invertebrain looked up to the sky and saw me flying towards him.
What? What are you doing back here?
After saving all of the dragons by sharing my power with them, I've come back to finish this. You're going down, Brainiac.
Curse you, Zozo! If you think you can beat me now, I promise you that you are still too weak.
Maybe alone I was, but not with everyone having my back. All of my friends believe in me, and I refuse to give up or let them down. I attacked and blasted Dr. Invertebrain with my flame. That wore him down enough that I could face him in close-quarter combat. We battled, mutant against mutant, hitting each other with all we had. He was strong and evil, but I didn't let up for even a moment. You tried to control me, to take everything from me. But now, I will defy you again, and it'll be the last time you order me around.
Zozo, Think about what you are doing!
I fired up one final blast of my remaining fire mutant energy and destroyed him!
No!
The battle was over. Now the rebuilding of the Dragon Duchy could begin, and all mutant and dragon kind could finally live in peace and harmony. I may have been born a mutant, but because of my heart, everyone was now free to be who they truly are. On day 1, I spawned in and ate my way out of a giant pumpkin as a fat dragon with 10 hearts. It looks like I'm way chunkier than the average dragon. It's okay though, because it's what's on the inside that counts. But my thoughts were interrupted by a huge fireball hitting the ground next to me. I managed to dodge it just in time and looked up to see a huge fire dragon floating in the sky above me.
Sup, Tubby? What are you doing on my turf? You know this is Chad's place. Who? Chad's the best.
Hey, don't call me mean names. And who's this Chad guy?
I'm Chad, and I rule. And when I'm flying around here, taking selfies for my red-hot fire dragon Insta, I don't want your goofy butt sitting in my background, killing my vibe.
But, you can't just call me names and kick me out.
Yeah I can. I'm Chad the fire dragon. I'm number 1. You aren't the first loser I've chased out of here, and you won't be the last, baby. It's fire time!
Chad the fire dragon blasted another fireball at me. I dodged again in the nick of time and flapped my wings, flying off into the air and escaping Chad's fire.
Yeah, that's right. You better run. Nobody messes with Chad. Ugh.
When I'd escaped Chad, I landed for a bit to breathe and calm myself down. That guy was a major jerk. Why would you be mean to someone just because of what they look like? He must be evil. My thoughts were interrupted by a big angry dread beast who thought I looked like a filling snack. Oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. All I could do was fly off before the dread beast pounced at me. This world doesn't seem too kind. I need to make things better around here before everyone hates on each other. On day 2, I landed somewhere that looked a little safer. At least here, nobody would start attacking me for no reason. I need a roof over my head before I can do anything else. Maybe it's time to build myself a fat dragon base. I used some of my natural dragon strength to break down a few trees. It wasn't long before I had enough wood to make myself a wooden pickaxe and a crafting table. Then I used my wooden pickaxe to dig up some stone and create a stone sword and a stone pickaxe. This is exactly what I need to build a base. But first, I need to get myself a sweet treat. I've had a hard couple of days. I've earned it. I flew off to a nearby area and found a delicious looking cake just laying around. The perfect treat. But then, a dread ghoul jumped out of the shadows and started laughing.
My fiendish plan worked. I knew that a cake would attract a perfect fat little victim, and I was right.
Oh, come on. Why is everyone here so judgmental?
It's the way of the world, fat dragon. And now you've fallen for my trap. You're all mine.
But before the dread ghoul could pounce, I flew away again, all the way back to my base to enjoy my cake. Wait, I got so distracted by the cake that I didn't even start my base. When I landed, I used my stone pickaxe and collected more resources and started building myself a basic base. At least it would give me somewhere to stay at the end of the day. I should work on a kitchen next. On day 3, I decided that I needed to make my base a little bigger. I wasn't the tiniest dragon out there after all, and I needed the base to be roomy to be comfortable in it. So I flew off to a new location to collect more resources. Of course, it wasn't going to be as easy as I'd hoped, because nothing seems to be easy around here. The second I landed, there was an angry-looking dread knight waiting for me.
Avest! Thou art a hefty dragon, forsooth! Alack, 'tis a battle! A battle, good sir.
I literally don't understand anything you're saying, but I still feel like you're being mean to me.
Thou art correct. Battle me, knave.
I was really upset about being called mean names again, probably. So this time, I was ready to engage in battle. I attacked him with my stone sword until the Dread Knight gave up and moved away.
Thou doth won this time, dragon, but next time I will have my revenge, forsooth.
Stop saying forsooth. It doesn't make you sound cool or smart. It's just weird. With that, the Dread Knight ran away. Moments later, a different figure emerged, a big black hippogriff. Oh no, are you gonna say mean things about my weight too?
What? Heavens no! I'd never dream of judging someone based on their appearance. That's a total Chad the Dragon move. I'm Buck the Hippogriff.
Wait, Chad the Dragon? You know that guy?
Huh, I wish I didn't. He's so conceited. If he was made of cake, he'd probably eat himself. Talk about a selfish meanie.
Oh, speaking of cake, I have some back in my base. Come join me. We can share it together. I'm Zozo, by the way.
Finally, someone kind around here. You seem hungry already. I'll let you have some of my fish. And let's go, Zozo.
I'd made my first friend, and we started back to my base. Things were finally looking up for me. From day 4 to day 5, I returned to my base with Buck the Hippogriff. It felt nice to have someone who was so kind in a world that had been so mean to me. Let's build you a room, Buck. Something that really suits your awesome personality.
You're too kind, Zozo.
You were kind to me first. This is just me getting even. I started expanding my base, creating a nice new room for Buck to stay in. I even made it with an open roof so he could fly out and explore anytime he wanted.
This is an awesome room, Zozo. I'm so happy that I met you. You're the coolest fat dragon I've ever seen.
You're doing a lot to help boost my confidence, Buck. I love it. But our wholesome friendship moment was interrupted by a bunch of death worms slithering out of the ground towards me. Oh no, I need to do something about this before it ruins my whole base. I ran in and started battling the death worms. Lucky for me, in the battle of worms versus dragons, dragons normally win, and this was no exception. And once the worms were defeated, they dropped some delicious apples onto the ground. Huh, apples and worms. It doesn't normally go that way around. I stashed the apples into my inventory and went back to my base, where Buck the Hippogriff and I could hang out. With the death worms taken care of, I could work on expanding and improving my base. Yes. First, I need to make sure I have a fixed source of food, breakfast especially. I'd love some eggs. That's why I built a coop and some fences, then collected a few chickens and let them live inside. Free range, of course, because that's the kindest way to do it. It'll make the eggs taste better too. But while I was out searching for more chickens to add to my teeny tiny chicken farm, I saw the last thing I ever wanted to see, Chad the Fire Dragon. He was flying right above me, looking just as mean and arrogant as ever.
Ugh, what are you doing here, Chubby? Didn't the Chadmeister tell you that you need to get off the overworld? Maybe go to the Nether. That's where all the other weird, ugly beasts hang out. Nice one, Chad.
You can't nice one your own joke, Chad. It doesn't work like that.
Chad can do anything that Chad likes. He's the best. I mean, I'm the best. Whatever. Look at what I can do.
Suddenly, Chad started growing even bigger and stronger than before. He made even his old self look small. Oh no, you're so huge. How?
I've been getting some extra reps in at the gym. It's making me real swole. You'd know this if you followed my fire Insta. Like I said, instead, you're gonna deal with my fire. Fire!
Chad blasted an even bigger fireball at me. There was no way I could fight him like this. I needed to just get out of here. I flew off as fast as I could, just hoping that Chad wouldn't follow me. Getting rid of him was going to be a lot harder than I thought. From day 9 to day 10, I sat in my room at my base, feeling terrible about all the things Chad said to me and how much stronger he was than me. How can I ever expect to stop him from being so horrible to everyone if I can't even stop him from being horrible to me? Buck the Hippogriff seemed to sense that I was upset and came in to comfort me.
Zozo, I'm so sorry about all those terrible things that Chad said to you. For what it's worth, he's only like that because deep down, he's so insecure about himself. He wishes he had the kind of confidence you have.
Those are kind words, Buck, and they do make me feel a little better. I just feel bad that I wasn't able to defeat him.
Maybe what you need is a little inspiration. Go look out into the yard and see a little something I've been working on for you.
I ran outside and saw that Buck had been working on a statue. It looked incredible, but it was early enough that I couldn't quite tell what it was yet. Wow, this is amazing. What do you think it's gonna be when it's done? Let me know down in the comments. Buck came up to me again. Amazing work, Buck. I love the statue. What's it going to be?
I couldn't give that away. And besides, there's something else you should see. I built you a base upgrade.
I looked back at my base and saw that Buck had built me a storage room. The perfect place to store all of our weapons and supplies. Buck, you're the best friend I've ever had. From day 11 to day 12, I decided it was time to rest and recover from the stressful last few days. After all, it's important to take care of yourself and take time off now and then. But while I was sleeping, I started having the strangest dreams. I dreamed of how Chad the Fire Dragon was first created. He crawled out of lava, deep underground, a dragon of pure fire.
Whoa, I'm a dragon of pure fire. This is crazy. I think I'm gonna call myself Chad. Yeah, that feels like a good name for me.
but everyone was afraid of Chad because he was so big and so dangerous because of his fire powers. Chad felt bad about everyone being afraid of him, so to cover up how bad he felt, he decided to pretend he was confident in a completely over-the-top way.
The Chadster's #1! Huh.
But because Chad's confidence wasn't real, he could only protect it one way, by being mean to others, putting them down to make himself feel better.
Everyone is dumb and ugly except me. Oh yeah, Chad is awesome, and I'm Chad, baby.
Chad developed such a reputation for being rude and mean, nobody would tell him to stop. And as the years went on, he only got more powerful. Needless to say, it was a really weird dream, but I definitely felt like I knew more about Chad afterwards. I just wish I knew how I could use it against him. From day 13 to day 15, I decided I needed to settle a few old scores to improve my confidence. This fat dragon was through with running away. That's why I flew back to where it all started, to face the dread beast that thought I was an easy snack. Now I was going to show him that fighting me was going to be anything but easy. I landed right next to the dread beast, ready to battle, with the stone sword at the ready. Let's go, dread beast. We'll see who's really feeling the dread when I'm done. The dread beast ran at me, but I didn't budge. I fought back. And this time, I won! And with the XP I got from winning, I leveled up into a bigger, tougher, fatter dragon! Chad is gonna think twice about messing with me now. I've got an entire 30 hearts and a brand new weapon, Dragon Claws. I took to the skies, happier than I'd felt in a long time. From day 16 to day 19, feeling encouraged by all my progress lately, I decided it was time to treat myself to a gear upgrade. I found a nearby mine and went underground, digging until I found some iron ore. Perfect! This is exactly what I needed! But I wasn't alone in the mine, because the perfect opposite of a fat dragon was down there waiting for me. A bunch of human skeletons! At least they don't have enough tongue to make any mean jokes about me. I defeated the skeletons, then used my iron ore to smelt and craft an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. Looks like my fighting and mining skills have just leveled up. Chad is gonna feel so jealous about this when he finds out. With all my new gear, I went back to my base, feeling better than ever. From day 20 to day 22, I was rudely awakened by Buck storming into the room.
Zozo! Zozo! You need to wake up right now! Something terrible is happening!
Terrible? Oh no, that doesn't sound good.
Quite the opposite, actually. It's terrible! Chad, the fire dragon, is waiting for you outside. I think he wants to fight.
I got up and ran outside as quickly as I could. And just like Buck had told me, Chad the fire dragon was waiting.
Hey, jabroni! It's the Chadmeister, Chadageddon, the Central African nation of Chad! And as usual, I'm happy to hand you a big steaming plate of humiliation, baby!
You may be a fire dragon, Chad, but I think you're just full of hot air. Are you really saying all this stuff about yourself because you believe it, or because you want to believe it?
Ooh, look at you, Mr. Big Tubby Head Shrinker! You think you understand the Chadster's brain? The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma. You could never even hope to understand what I'm about, and I'm actually super duper confident. You're just way too much of a loser to get that.
Sounds like you're not that sure of yourself.
I so am! Let's fight, doofus!
We charged at each other and began battling. He blew fire at me, but with my new strength since our last battle, I was able to take the heat. That's when I showed him my new claws, swiping at him again and again. He seemed so shocked that I was really fighting back that he broke away from the fight and started to fly off.
I didn't really want to fight you that time anyway. Smell you later, fat dragon!
It wasn't exactly a true victory, but I'd seen the first crack in Chad's confidence. Maybe I can beat him after all. From day 23 to day 26, I decided that I needed to treat myself to a new enchantment for all my hard work, surviving my first true fight with Chad. Given how much he'd helped me so far, I asked Buck what he thought I should do.
Seeing as you got yourself an iron sword a while back, maybe you should apply the sharpness enchantment. Who knows? It might even make your claws more powerful.
That's a great idea, Buck. You're always looking out for me. On Buck's suggestion, I crafted and applied the sharpness enchantment. All my weapons were a lot more effective after that. From day 27 to day 31, I got more good news from Buck.
Zozo, come take a look. I've been doing some more work on the statue, and I think you're going to love it.
Ah, that's so exciting. I can't wait to see. I ran out and took a look at the statue. It wasn't done yet, but it was coming along so well. Buck really had a gift for making statues. This looks amazing, Buck. I can't wait to see what it'll be when it's done.
That's actually something I wanted to talk to you about, Zozo. The statue is coming along great, but it needs something anything else. Think you can go get some for me?
No problem, Buck. I'll set off immediately. Buck told me what he needed and sent me off to the west. I headed out with my iron pickaxe, ready to mine like my life depended on it. It didn't take me long to find the blocks that Buck needed, but there was a wither there waiting for me. Nothing is ever easy around here. I took a few wither skulls, but soon managed to use my claws to turn the tide of the battle. Once the wither was gone, I mined the blocks and went back to my base. Buck was waiting for me. Here, Buck, take these.
Thanks, Zozo. This is exactly what I needed.
From day 32 to day 35, I went out exploring again, wanting to increase my strength and confidence. If there were any quests for me to take, I'd be happy to take them. But my confidence was shaken a little by a huge creeper spider suddenly skittering towards me. This is not how I wanted to spend today. I ran away as the creeper spider exploded, taking out a bunch of blocks beneath it, but thankfully not me. Creepers are one of those problems that take care of themselves. While I was wandering around the explosion-scarred area, I saw another strange creature, a rabbit wolf, hopping around and looking worried. Are you okay, Miss Rabbit Wolf?
The truth is, no! Things are awful right now.
Awful? Oh no! What happened? Is there any way I could help?
My friend, the rabbit, was kidnapped by the Crimson Phantom. He's a local weirdo who thinks he's a supervillain. And if we don't save the rabbit soon, who knows what will happen?
We'll never have to find out. Wait here, I'm gonna go save your rabbit friend. And with that, I flew off, ready to become a hero. From day 36 to day 39, I arrived at the location where the wannabe supervillain, the Crimson Phantom, was holding the rabbit. He was every bit as weird as the wolf rabbit had told me.
It is I, the Crimson Phantom, the Lord of Darkness. I am the most powerful and evil villain in the overworld, and nothing will stop me from taking control. I'm #1.
But isn't Chad the fire dragon #1?
Oh no, Chad, is he here?
No, he's not here. I was just talking figuratively.
Phew, that's a relief. Almost lost my cool there.
Hearing all of that gave me an idea. The Crimson Phantom may not be afraid of me, but he was definitely afraid of our mutual enemy, Chad the fire dragon. Maybe Chad can be useful for once. From day 40 to day 43, I flew out towards the Crimson Phantom and the captured rabbit, trying to look as intimidating as possible. Both of them turned to look at me as I approached.
Begone, fat dragon, for I am the Crimson Phantom, the vilest villain in all of the overworld, and this rabbit belongs to me.
Fool! I work for his Chadness, Chad the Fire Dragon, and he is extremely displeased that you're out here, tarnishing his rad name.
Oh no, please tell his Chadness I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause any offense. I'll do whatever he wants, I promise.
You'll give up the rabbit and let her go. His Chadness requests your presence.
Of course, Wait, Fat Dragon? Chad's been making fun of you on his Dragon Insta for weeks now. You're not with him, you're trying to trick me.
You can't blame me for trying. With my plan foiled, I attacked the Crimson Phantom with my powerful claws. Despite all his bragging, he was one of the easiest enemies I'd ever defeated.
You saved me. Thank you so much. I was worried I'd never get away from that awful villain.
Don't thank me, Rabbit. You've got a friend who cares a lot about you. As if on cue, the Rabbit Wolf hopped in.
Thank you for all you've done, Zozo. Here, take this potion of swiftness. It's the least I could do. You're a true hero.
Oh, stop it. You're gonna make me cry. From day 44 to day 49, I gave more materials to Buck the Black Hippogriff so he could continue work on the statue.
Great job, Zozo! You're really pulling your weight with this project.
I'll take that as a compliment, considering how much my weight is.
I mean it, buddy. You're a kind and reliable person. Anyone would be lucky to have you as a friend.
Thanks, Buck. Now I feel like $1,000,000.
There's only one me, Zozo. Just like there's only one you.
That's deep, but you knew what I meant. I let Buck continue working on the statue and realized that I was hungry. After all the quests I'd been doing, I had really worked up an appetite. It was time to add something to the base in order to help out with that. A proper kitchen. I'd craft a couple of cooking surfaces and shelves to store ingredients. That way, I'd be able to make the most nutritious meals when I was in the mood for food. It's like they always say, never trust a skinny cook and always trust a fat dragon cook. Once I had completed the kitchen, I went back to see how Buck was doing on the statue. It was starting to look even more like what it was supposed to be. I couldn't wait to see how it would look when it was done. From day 50 to day 53, I was minding my own business at the base when Chad the fire dragon decided to rear his big, overinflated head.
Oh, hey, Chubster. Still your lame roly-poly self, I see. Lucky for you, the Chadmeister decided to take some time out of his busy Insta schedule to instigate a little one-on-one conflict.
Leave me alone already, Chad. I'll fight if I have to, but I didn't wake up this morning choosing violence.
Too bad, because Chad the Cool and Rad always chooses to dunk on losers. By the way, when I said one-on-one, I meant one-on-several, because I've brought my fans with me.
It was true. Chad had rolled up with a bunch of fire guardians who listened to everything he said. They must have been followers by nature. How is it fair to outnumber me, Chad? At least fight your own battles if you're gonna be a bully.
Well, sorry. There's so much of you to go around that I thought I should bring more guys. Get up, boys.
Chad's fire guardians tried to gang up on me, but I was a fighter now, so I shredded through them with my claws. I was so focused on the fight that I almost didn't see Chad and the other guardians kidnap Buck from the base.
Zozo, win that fight and come save me. I know you can.
Buck, how low does Chad want to go in order to ruin my life? I took down the rest of the attacking fire guardians like Buck said, and I felt my confidence rising. I grew larger and obtained 60 hearts. I could also breathe out a big blast of fire. Looks like Chad isn't the only one with fire around here. With that, I also set the front yard on fire. From day 54 to day 57, I spent some time putting out the fires left over from the attack on the base. They sure did set a big part of my base on fire, but it didn't bother me that much because I could easily extinguish it. Once I had extinguished the fire, I thought about the one thing I couldn't repair. I need to get Buck back. He always stuck up for me, so I want to do the same for him. I went to the desert to go visit Miss Rabbit Wolf. I knew a thing or two about friendship. And because I helped her rescue her friend not too long ago, she would probably help me rescue mine.
I'm so sorry that Buck got taken away by Chad's henchmen. I know exactly how that feels.
I want to do something about it, but I don't know where to begin.
Why don't you try checking the selfies that Chad posts? There's got to be something in the background that could help you find out where he's taken Buck.
That's a good idea. He posts pictures of where he is all the time. It should be easy to find his evil lair from that.
You can turn his false confidence into a real weakness.
Thanks, Rabbit Wolf. From day 58 to day 62, I went mining for diamonds so I could upgrade my tools. I'm a confident dragon, and I deserve to treat myself to nicer things. Of course, not everyone in the mine agreed with me on that point. There were a bunch of warped phantoms swarming around where I was trying to dig. I could use my fire breath to scatter them, but they'd always come back. This seems like more of a task for my claws. Can't a dragon mine in peace? Once I had cleared out all the warped phantoms, I was able to gather a good amount of diamonds from the cave. I crafted a diamond sword and a diamond pickaxe, both of which would come in handy when the time came for me to go rescue Buck from the clutches of Chad. From day 63 to day 66, I was looking at the unfinished statue and feeling sad that Buck couldn't be here. The two of us had been working together on the statue for a long time now, and seeing that it was unfinished was a reminder that without him, I'd never see what the statue could become. I thought about working on it myself, but that wouldn't do any good. Buck is counting on me to rescue him from Chad. I couldn't back down from facing that terrible bully. For now, the statue needs to wait. Hang on, Buck. I'm gonna find you, wherever you are. And if you want to find more of my awesome adventures, make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you'll always be able to. From day 67 to day 70, I found a place that looked a lot like where Chad the Fire Dragon took many of his selfies. The Crimson Gardens were definitely red, like one might expect for a fire dragon, and there also seemed to be a huge lair designed to show off. That's gotta be Chad's pad. As I approached, I noticed that there were a bunch of fire guardians hanging around outside. My guess had to be correct, since those mobs would do anything for Chad's attention, including trying to keep me out of Chad's pad. I knew I was looking at a fight if I tried to get past them. Hey, you guys, is my friend inside there? The fire guardian said nothing and charged me all at once. I knew fire breath wouldn't do any good against creatures of pure fire, so I stuck to melee attacks. Thanks to my increased health, even fighting this many fire guardians wasn't much of a problem. It was true that I'd gotten even bigger and stronger since my other fight with Chad's minions. I'm not just fat, I'm large and in charge. I was able to battle my way through the inside of Chad's pad. I just knew my friend was in here somewhere. From day 71 to day 74, I explored Chad's pad and fought off more of the fire guardians as I did. This base is gigantic. Chad must really enjoy having a lot of space that he doesn't need, all to himself. While I was sneaking around, I saw Chad. He must have been finished taking selfies in a nearby room. Oh yeah, Chad rules! The camera loves Chad, and so does everyone else. And Chad! He seemed to be really into his routine at the moment, and it felt awkward to interrupt him. I came here to rescue Buck, not to pick a fight, so I just let him continue bigging himself up. Of course, I couldn't help myself from sneaking some potions of healing from one of his pad's chests. He won't miss it, and besides, he's hurt me enough times that one little potion is the least of what he'd need to do to make up for it. From day 75 to day 78, I managed to find the dungeon where Chad had been keeping Buck. It was time for a good old-fashioned prison break.
Zozo, you made it! I always knew you had it in you, friend.
Thanks, Buck. It was hard making it all the way here without your kind words, but I was still able to do it because I've got confidence in myself now. I used my fire breath to destroy the bars of the prison, setting Buck free.
Nicely done. Now let's get out of here. Whoa! Who said you could leave? Chad didn't. And if Chad didn't, it doesn't matter who did. Chad.
Oh no, it was Chad! There was only one thing I could think of to make sure that Buck would be safe from this kidnapping bully jerk. Get out of here, Buck. I'll catch up with you after Chad and I have a talk. With that, Buck ran off, leaving me alone to take on Chad.
Like Chad would talk to you for any reason other than reminding you that you're totally stupid looking.
Actually, I meant talk as in fight. Let's work things out like dragons with our claws and fire breath.
Can't get enough of Chad's fire breath? Okay, you asked for it.
Chad breathed his fire blast at me, but I returned with my own. He was surprised that I could do what he did, but that made sense because he always underestimated me. We started to fight with our claws, and even more than the previous time I was holding my own. I got several good hits in on him before he started to show a little bit of nervousness. What's the matter, Chad? Not able to pretend as well as you normally do?
As if Chad needs to pretend. I'm the real deal, lame-o. Check this out.
From day 79 to day 84, Chad flexed his dragon muscles and totally hulked out into a super beast of a dragon!
Oh yeah, Chad was already the best, but now you can say hello to the even better, super mega ultra deluxe Chadmeister Supreme!
Yikes! I didn't expect he'd have another form!
Chad totally could have beaten you in his regular form. Chad just didn't feel like it.
Right, so you transformed for absolutely no reason at all. I'm really not sure I believe you, but I'm also really afraid of your new form. I ran away as fast as I could. Behind me, I could hear Chad laughing and calling me more mean names. We would see who would be laughing the next time we met, but this time it was definitely Chad who would be laughing. From day 85 to day 89, I returned to base and found that Buck had already made his way back there before me. I was really glad to see him home. The base had not felt the same without him.
Did I miss anything, Zozo? I was gone for a long time at Chad's pad. That fire dragon was so annoying and talking about himself the whole time. I'm really glad to be back.
I'm glad to hear it, Buck. Sorry you had to go through all that.
It wasn't all bad. I did manage to swipe some relaxation supplies from Chad's relaxation room. I bet we could turn these into a room of our own.
That sounds awesome. I love relaxation. I got to work on upgrading the base with a brand new relaxation room, while Buck chose to make up for lost time and work on the base's statue. I made sure to put all the right details into the relaxation room, including lots of couches for Buck and I to lounge around on. I bet both of us will really appreciate the work I've done on this room after Buck is done putting together that statue. When I was done with the relaxation room, I went to see the statue and found that it looked absolutely incredible. It was only a statue of me, but I never looked at myself so proudly before.
Remember how you feel about yourself at this moment, Zozo. That confidence in who you are, recognizing your own best qualities, is the key to defeating Chad.
I did almost have him last time, but he's got this new super duper form now, and I think he's gonna knock me out the next time I see him.
In that case, you just take what you already like about yourself and make it even more powerful. There's a spell you can cast that will bring your inner strength to the surface. Show him who you really are!
From day 90 to day 94, I sought out the Book of Spells, which was said to contain a spell that would bring my inner strength to the surface. It was located inside of a deep cave that was full of wither spiders. There was a time not so long ago that I wouldn't have dared to fight for myself, especially against such powerful mobs. But if what Buck said about this spell was true, then I couldn't wait to get my inner strength on. I'm becoming more like who I want to be every single day, and there's nothing that some bully can say that would make me feel like I'm less than that. The wither spiders had powerful attacks and could shoot deadly wither skulls, but with my chubby body and huge amount of hearts, I could withstand equally huge amounts of damage. Big is beautiful! I burned the spiders away with my fire breath and found my way to the Book of Spells. This must be the right one. I'll read it when I get back home. From day 95 to day 97, I was back at base, preparing for my showdown with Chad. I was determined to use everything that I had in order to win this fight and overcome that bully once and for all. I knew that I'd be having the fight at his place, so instead of doing any sort of upgrades on my base, I focused on what I would need to do to fight at my best. Potions are the way to go. I can drink a lot of those at once to give myself an advantage. First up was a standard potion of strength to increase the damage of my claws attacks. Second, I chose a potion of regeneration so I could get even more use out of my high amount of hearts. And the third potion that I picked was a potion of fire resistance. Chad is always bragging about his fire, but this should take the heat off of me. On day 98, I decided to relax so that I wouldn't stress out too much about the impending fight I was going to have with Chad. I couldn't let him get into my head, so I made sure to fill my brain with fun and positive feelings. And if you want to feel fun and positive too, you should type ZOZO into the search bar so you can find more of my videos. Also, while it's just us relaxing, go ahead and leave a comment about what I should be next. On day 99, it was time to settle my score with Chad once and for all time. I walked through the Crimson Gardens and straight inside Chad's pad. That mean and nasty fire dragon himself was lying in wait, and he was still in his tricked out new form.
Back for more, you little dragon tender? Chad is better than Chad has ever been. This new form is totally awesome, and definitely better than anything you could do.
I now understand why you decided to take that form, Chad.
'Cause I'm a beast like that?
No, it's because you have something to prove. You may have scared everybody else, but I was able to rattle that fake confidence of yours. You're the one who is actually scared, Chad.
What? No, you don't know what you're talking about. Chad is the man, or the dragon man. Actually, I'm just a dragon.
Yes, and I'm just a fat dragon who's got inner strength. I downed my potions and used the Book of Spells to cast the spell of power and unleash my inner strength. My heart rose to 100, and I now had a mighty tail slap attack. Ready to throw down, Chad.
Chad is having second thoughts. I mean, now Chad's the best. Chad will take you out in any form, Tubbo.
The fight began, and I whipped him with my new tail slap. He tried his fire breath, of course, but I was resistance. Your fire can't hurt me anymore, and neither can your words. I gave him serious claw strikes and even more tail slaps. Then I unleashed my own fire breath.
No way. You can't be fire. Chad is fire. Chad is fire as fire.
Not anymore. Then I tail slapped Chad one more time, and he was done bothering me. On day 100, I was once again relaxing at the base with Buck the Black Hippogriff. Chad won't bother me or anyone again. I really taught him a lesson.
You sure did stand up for yourself, Zozo. And you never let anyone tell you who you should be or how you should look.
You said it, Buck. I'm the best at being me, and that's what counts more than anything else.
On day 1, I spawned in as a baby goat. Oh, I'm a tiny little goat. And ooh, look how high I can jump. Let's see how fast I can climb this hill. I hopped on over, and that's when I realized I could climb the sides of the hills too. Oh yeah, look at me go. I was feeling pretty good about myself, hip-hopping around, when I was suddenly attacked by a raptor. A dinosaur? What century is this? I didn't have time to worry about that though, because I only had 4 hearts. The problem was, I had nowhere to run. That's when I noticed I had some sort of special ability. Headbutt. Alright, I'll give it a try. I swung my head and sent the raptor flying straight off the cliff. Sayonara! I headed down the hill. What was a dinosaur doing around here? Suddenly there was a rustling up ahead, and a whole pack of raptors were coming right at me. More of them? I don't think I can take on a whole pack. They were closing in fast, so I jumped up the side of the hill and started to climb. They couldn't follow me straight up the side of a cliff. Better luck next time, boys. The raptor snarled at me and left. I kept watch for the rest of the day. Who knew if those raptors would attack again? On day 2, I headed down off the cliff. I had to be careful, just in case there were any any dinosaurs lurking around. Just then, I heard a cry out in the distance.
Help!
I rushed off toward the sound and saw a little baby goat getting attacked by a couple of foxes. Hang on, buddy. I charged at the foxes with my head, knocking them back. No one was going to be picking on any goats today. They weren't very tough, and I was able to knock them both out.
That was a close one.
No problem. What's your name?
You can call me Billy.
That makes sense. Come on, Billy. I know a spot that's safe from all the meanies out here. Billy and I headed back over to my little cave, climbing up the mountain. This will be a safe place for us to stay for the night, but I think we can make it a little nicer. I ran outside and cut down some wood, then used it to make a crafting table. Then I used the crafting table to make a wooden axe. Now I can get all the wood I need. After I'd collected all the wood I needed, I started clearing out the cave, filling it with a nice wood floor. Then I added all the things Billy and I would need for a good starter base. Hopefully nothing would attack us in the night. On day 3, Billy and I had decided we would look for supplies, but first, I needed to make some stone tools. Using my crafting table, I made all the tools we could possibly need. Hopefully we could find a good food source. All right, Billy, let's get out there and see what we can find. While we were looking for any resources that might help, we were mostly hoping to find food because we knew we would be getting hungry sooner rather than later. Luckily for us, we soon saw a farm in the distance. Okay, I don't see anyone. If we're really sneaky, we can probably take just a little bit without getting caught. Billy and I got right to harvesting, collecting as much food as we could.
Why, hello over there.
Uh-oh, it was the farmer. We had to get out of there.
Wait, hang on a moment. I don't mind if you eat my crops. In fact, eat as much as you want.
Really? No one has ever been this nice to us.
Yes, well, there aren't very many friendly animals around here these days. Something dangerous out there seems to be making them disappear.
Well, if I had to guess, I'd say it's the dinosaurs taking them all out.
Dinosaurs? Huh. Well, I suppose that must be it. If that's the case, why don't you two stay in my barn for safety?
We agreed and followed him into his barn. There were some nice hay bales to lay on. I was a little unsure because our cave seemed pretty safe, but at least there was food and someone to look out for us. The sun set, and we put our heads down for the night. On days 4 through 5, Billy and I woke up in the back of the cart, pulled by the farmer. Hey, what's going on? The farmer didn't respond and kept looking ahead. That's when I realized we were all tied up and couldn't move. Where are you taking us? The farmer continued to ignore me. After a little while longer, we arrived at a small clearing. The farmer took us out and tied us to a post. Without saying a word, he got back on his horse and left. I've got a bad feeling about this. Just then, I heard a stick break and saw a pack of raptors walking toward us. We had no way to run. It looks like it's the end for us, Billy. Suddenly, the ground began to shake and there was the sound of heavy thuds. The raptors ran away. What's going on? Is it an earthquake? It was worse. A huge T-Rex came stomping around the corner, and he had on some kind of weird-looking hat.
Aha! My dinner is served. You look delicious.
This dinosaur could talk. We had to escape. The T-Rex lunged at us, but we jumped out of the way, causing him to break our rope instead. Hurry, Billy, run! We took off into the woods. Hopefully we could escape. On days 6 through 8, we were still running for our lives. The T-Rex was hot on our tails. As we came through a thick section of trees, we managed to slip through, leaving the T-Rex behind them. I think we lost him. It was wishful thinking though, as he came stomping around the other side of the trees. Our chase soon led us to a river, and I hurried and swam across. Billy was still just a baby though, and his tiny legs couldn't swim very fast.
It's okay, Zozo. Save yourself.
Keep swimming, Billy. I won't leave you behind.
Ugh, I hate getting wet.
The T-Rex was so close, and I wasn't sure if he would make it. But at the last moment, he jumped onto shore, and we continued to run. We soon came bursting out of the forest, running across an open plain. Billy kept falling into small ponds, which was always a close call. Let's go, Billy. Maybe we can lose him in the trees. We ran into a purple forest, but it was no use. The T-Rex was still right behind us. Man, this guy must be really hungry. Come on, I have an idea. We circled back into the forest from before, and I headed toward a ravine I had seen earlier. A large tree had fallen across it, so Billy and I hurried and ran across. Before the T-Rex could cross though, I quickly cut the log, stopping him in his tracks.
Nah, you silly goats. You got away this time, but no one can outsmart me now. I'll find you soon enough.
The T-Rex turned and ran off. How are we going to survive now? On days 9 through 10, Billy and I were running back to the base as fast as we could. It didn't feel like there was anyone out here that we could trust. Soon, we had arrived back at our cliffside base. Well, Billy, looks like this is going to be our home for the future. Let's fix it up. I got right to work, making our base even cooler than before. I cleared out even more space than before and lined the inside with lots of wood. I also gave us all the equipment we'd need: beds, furnaces, and crafting tables. As far as I knew, we were the only animals that could climb up steep cliffs, so no one else was going to be climbing into our base. So check it out. What do you think of the base? What part do you like the best? With the base completed, I decided to head over to some nearby caves to mine some iron. Luckily, I was able to quickly find some, so I mined it out. I also found some coal, which I was going to need to smelt the iron. I hurried back to the base and got right to work, smelting down all of the iron ore into iron ingots. I then used those to make myself a full set of iron armor, and also used them to make an iron sword, a pickaxe, axe, shovel, and hoe. This is all going to be good for me, but I think Billy is going to need some armor too. With some of the leftover iron, I made Billy some of his own goat armor. He's gonna love this. Yes. I brought it down to his base and tossed it out to him. He could barely contain his excitement. We're ready for anything now. Tomorrow, I'm gonna get that farmer back. On days 11 to 12, I left the base to go get that farmer. He was going to have a lot of explaining to do for leaving us tied to a post as dinosaur dinner. As I was making my way through the forest, I heard a howl and was suddenly attacked by a pack of wolves. Why is everyone here so mean to me? I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the universe. It's a good thing I had just upgraded my gear though, as I was able to defeat the wolves with no trouble at all. Soon, I was back at the farm and noticed it looked abandoned. Where is that farmer? Don't tell me he's hiding. I then checked the farmhouse and saw the farmer inside, packing his bags. What did you think you were doing, leaving us to be eaten like that? I hit the farmer and he started to fight back. He clearly wasn't ready for a fight though.
Hang on just a second there. Please don't hurt me.
And why wouldn't I? You weren't very nice to me.
Okay, let me explain.
Start talking, Slick. What's up with the T-Rex?
That T-Rex is crazy. I don't know how he got here in our time or how he learned to talk, but he's been forcing me to feed him all my animals. If I didn't give him more, he was gonna eat me. I decided I couldn't do it anymore though, and I was gonna flee. Time to start myself a vegetable garden somewhere peaceful. I promise, I'm not a danger to anyone.
I could tell he was sorry for what he had done, so even though I was still upset, I decided to forgive him and let him go. I left as he planted some vegetables I could use later. The farmer was no longer a threat, but what was I going to do about this T-Rex? On days 13 to 15, I arrived back at our base and headed up to Billy's room. When I entered, I barely recognized the place. Whoa, Billy, you've got a lot of work done. Your room looks awesome.
Thanks, Zozo. I also thought it'd be fun if we built a special statue. Here, take this wool. I'll show you what to do.
Billy and I headed out and got started on the statue. Billy was really excited about what we were building, and I thought it was coming along great. At least, as far as I could tell, it was pretty great. We soon finished the first part. Can you tell what we're building? I'm not really sure quite yet. I jumped down from the statue, and as I was walking, I was attacked by a bunch of spiders. Oh look, another mob who wants to hurt me. Stay back, you punks. These guys weren't very tough, and I managed to take them out in just a few hits. Uh-oh, I can hear some more spiders in that cave. I better take them out too. I entered the cave, and sure enough, there were more spiders. One of these spiders was different though, and had blue eyes. The spiders were pretty mad at me, and they hurt a lot. But if I could survive a T-Rex attacking me, I could fight these guys off too. I managed to beat them both down. When the blue-eyed guy disappeared, he left behind something interesting. Poisonous essence. I'm not sure what I'll do with this, but I'll have to hang on to it for now. Just then, I heard more spider noises echoing from the cave. I headed in deeper. What kind of monster would be waiting for me? On days 16 to 19, I was making my way deeper into the cave when I came across a bunch of brown terracotta. I don't know what all of this is doing down here, but Billy said we'd need it for the statue. I eagerly mined up all of the terracotta. Who knew when we'd be able to find more? As I scooped up the rest of the terracotta, I heard those spider noises again. Well, let's go down a little deeper, just to take a look. I soon arrived at the very bottom of a deep cave that was full of spider webs. I turned around and saw there was a huge spider on the ceiling. Okay, just stay calm, don't panic. Suddenly, the spider attacked. Spiders! Why did it have to be spiders? This big hairy beast did a lot of damage, and I wasn't sure if I was going to survive. If I could get the right hits in, I just might make it. I swung my sword as hard as I could and finally was able to take it down. Just then, I felt my strength begin to grow, and I leveled up into a bigger goat, and I've gained 4 more hearts. I took a closer look at my headbutt ability and noticed I had an even stronger knockback power, and I could jump higher too. I hurried back to my house. I had an idea of what I could do with the poisonous essence. I walked back up to my crafting table, and by combining the essence with my iron sword, I crafted a spider sword. Tomorrow, I'm heading off to find the T-Rex. On days 20 to 22, I left my base to go find the T-Rex. I wasn't quite ready to fight him, but surely he had a base somewhere. If I could find his base, maybe I could find a way to defeat him. As I walked across the land, I heard a noise up in the distance.
Oh, you wild raptors, get away from me.
The group of raptors were attacking what looked to be a scientist. He needed my help. Watch out, I'm coming in. I leapt into action and started to fight off the raptors. I was stronger and had better gear, so these raptors didn't know what hit them. They were a feisty bunch, but I was able to knock them all out.
Oh my goodness, aren't you just a marvelous little animal?
Oh, well thanks. Who are you and what are you doing all the way out here? There's all kinds of strange things going on.
The name's Faraday, and yes, I am aware of these things. They are actually all my fault.
Your fault? What do you mean? The scientist began to explain.
You see, I'm not actually from this time. I am from the future. I invented a time machine helmet that let me travel all the way back to dinosaur times. I ran across the land. I felt so cool knowing that I was the first human to ever step foot on the land. Later that day, though, I sat down to rest, and a little raptor came and scooped my helmet onto his head.
This wouldn't have been the biggest problem, but that T-Rex came along, flipped the raptor into the air, and the helmet landed on his head. Thing is though, my helmet also makes the user smarter, which is why the T-Rex can talk. I had an old prototype helmet that I used to chase the T-Rex through time, but it broke when we got to this present. Luckily, the T-Rex seems pretty happy to be here since there is plenty of easy food for him.
Wow, that is not the story I was expecting to hear when I woke up today. So what can we do to get the helmet back?
I have some ideas, but I haven't been able to test any of them out yet. That T-Rex's sidekicks keep attacking me. He must have brought them through time with him.
Well, we've got a safe base built into a hill. How about you come live with us? You can do your research in peace there.
That would be terrific.
On days 23 to 26, I got right to work, building Faraday a lab at our base. There was all kind of technology that he wanted added, and it took a lot of hard work to get it right. But in the end, I was able to make him everything he would need to continue doing research. When it was complete, Faraday went and took a look around to make sure everything was in working order. Later on, I hopped in the elevator and took it for a ride myself. It was kind of fun riding in the elevator and getting to look out the window, but I'd still rather climb up the side of cliffs. I met Faraday in the front of the lab, and he told me how happy he was to finally get started. It was going to take some time for him to figure things out, but he said I should make sure I upgrade my gear for when we finally face off against the T-Rex. On days 27 to 31, I decided that I could use some more upgrades that could keep me safe from attack. Faraday told me there was a special item I could get from bears that could help me with this. Bears are super scary. I sure hope nothing goes wrong as I do this. I headed to a nearby forest and soon saw a small group of bears. With my spider sword in hand, I attacked. Very nice to meet you, sir. The bear didn't seem very happy to meet me and swung at me with their heavy claws. They were pretty tough, and it was a hard fight, but in the end, I was able to take him out. There were a couple of other bears nearby too, which I was able to quickly defeat without too much trouble. That's when I saw one of them had dropped what I was looking for. Oh look, steadfast spikes. This makes it harder for bad guys to knock me back. Awesome! I then noticed there were some fruit trees nearby, so I ran through the trees and collected as much fruit as I could. Fruits are the best. I always try to eat them when I can. After I collected the fruits, I decided to do some exploring. As I crossed an empty field, I saw a small house in the distance. Let's see who lives here. I knocked on the door and a raccoon was inside.
Who's out there?
Hi, I just wanted to see who lived here and make sure you knew about the T-Rex running around.
A T-Rex? Big deal. I have a bigger problem.
A bigger problem? What could that be?
My magic coal is stolen.
Your what?
My magic coal. It's the best thing I've ever found.
Do you mean stole?
How I got it isn't important. Do you think you can help me or not?
Sure, I'll help. The raccoon explained that a coyote had grabbed it off his doorstep when he wasn't looking and told me where to go to find him. I nodded and headed off for the camp. On days 32 to 35, I soon arrived at the coyote's base. This place is way bigger than the raccoon made it sound. I walked in and was immediately attacked by a pack of wolves. Relax, guys, I'm just looking for a piece of coal. The wolves didn't care and continued to attack. With my attacks, I was able to defeat them before they could do too much damage. Now, where could this magic coal be? What does that even look like? I kept looking through the base, fighting off the occasional wolf here and there. Eventually, I reached the top of the base as I finished up the rest of the wolves.
Hey, who do you think you are coming into my house and messing with my guards?
I'm here for Mr. Raccoon. You stole something of his and I'm here to get it back.
That little raccoon is such a loser. He just gets stuff out of the trash. He's weird, so I like being mean to him.
Well, that's no way to treat someone for being different. The coyote and I started to fight. This guy was so mean. It's not okay to talk about people like that. By using my spider sword, I was able to poison him, which was bringing down his health. You're not as tough as you think you are. The coyote and I kept going at each other until at long last, I hit him with the final blow and took him out. That's when I saw he had dropped the magic coal. I don't know what's so special about this, but I better get it back to that raccoon. With the coal in my pocket, I hurried out of the base and headed back toward the raccoon's house. On days 36 to 39, I arrived back at the raccoon's house with his magic coal. After he came out of his house, I tossed it over to him.
Woo, my magic coal. I'm so happy to see it again. Thank you.
No problem. I'm just happy I could help.
You have done the greatest thing for me. Here, I have something that you might be interested in.
The raccoon threw out an interesting looking piece of tech.
I don't know what it's for, but maybe that scientist friend of yours could use it. By the way, I get around these parts quite a bit, so if you're ever in need of information, let me know. I can probably help.
I thanked him and turned to head back to the base. I wondered if Faraday would know something about this tech. On days 40 to 43, I arrived back to the base and headed up and into the science lab. I saw Faraday working in his lab and knocked on the window.
Zozo, it's been a while. How are things going?
Really good. While I was out exploring, I came across this strange piece of tech. Do you know anything about it?
My Lanta, that's part of the teleportation helmet the T-Rex has. Without this, he's not able to travel through time.
Well, that's good, right? It means we have a chance to stop him before he can ruin other timelines.
Precisely. I've been doing some research of my own. Let me check my notes here.
Faraday went over to his computers and printed out some notes.
Yes, I am able to make the needed repairs, but there's a special element I need to do them.
That sounds easy enough. Do you know where I can get them?
I do, but the catch is that you have to defeat a rather nasty mob to get it.
Faraday went on to explain where I needed to go to find them. Hopefully it's not too much of a fight. On days 44 to 49, I headed into the mystical forest Faraday had told me about. As I got closer, I was suddenly attacked by a heavy creeper. Whoa, slow down there, buddy. I swung at him and managed to knock him out. It looked like he had dropped something, which I picked up. Creeper shards. Was this what Faraday was looking for? I better keep looking around. I kept going through the forest when suddenly a bunch of the creepers began attacking me and exploding. Keep it together, guys. Jeez. I managed to fight my way through the explosions with my ears ringing in my head. I soon stumbled upon a cave. Okay, he did mention it might be in a cave. I'll take a look. I headed into the cave and was attacked by a couple of spiders. I hit them with my spider sword. How do you like a taste of your own medicine? The spiders were soon destroyed and I continued down the cave. It kept going deeper and deeper until I saw something terrifying ahead. Okay, this has got to be it. What is this thing? The earth golem made a terrible sound as it tried to hit me. He definitely didn't like me stomping around in his cave. With his giant arms, he knocked me down to half a heart. My spider sword had poisoned him, and I was able to land the final blow. Yes, I got him! As he disappeared, I noticed that he dropped something. This looks like some kind of strange display. This must be what Faraday is after. Just then, I felt that familiar power flow into me, and I turned into a bigger and stronger goat. Looks like I've got 13 hearts now, too. While I was down there, I also got to work mining out the diamonds in the wall. No wonder this guy didn't want anyone down here. It was filled with good stuff. That should be everything. Let's get this back to Faraday and see what he can do with it. On days 50 to 53, I returned back to the base and headed into the lab. Faraday was hard at work and was very excited to see that I had made it back. I believe this is what you were searching for?
Oh, Zozo, you beautiful being. This is going to work perfect.
I was feeling pretty good about myself, so I tossed in the creeper shards as well. And what do you think of this?
Zozo, this is a ground creeper toenail. Please, never give this to me again.
Oh, my bad. Faraday said it would take him a few days to get the next project put together, so I headed back up to the base to craft some diamond armor. I decided I could use a full set of armor, so I made that. Then I went ahead and made an entire set of tools. I always felt a little bit more safe after making new diamond gear. With my armor upgraded, I headed outside to go and do some more work on the statue. I had the terracotta I had collected before, so I wanted to make some good progress. So what do you think about the second part? Think you can still guess what it's going to be? I then headed back over to my base. This place could use some more improvements. I decided I wanted to add another level atop the cliff. We hadn't been attacked by any mobs, and I was pretty sure nothing was going to get to us. I was pretty proud of what I was able to build, and thought it looked really cool. This is a nice house, but it is pretty big. I think I should go get Mr. Raccoon and invite him to live here. It's not safe out there. On days 54 to 57, I was heading across the field when I saw that the raccoon's house had been destroyed. As I got closer, I saw him lying in the center of his destroyed house. He was clearly hurt. Oh no, who did this to you?
It was those raptors. I guess some of the wolves told them I sent you to get my magic coal back from the coyote, and they attacked me without warning.
I'm sorry. I can't help feeling like this is all my fault. Surely I can get you something to save you.
It's too late. They took everything I have. And don't worry, it's not your fault. Thanks for being the nice one who was willing to stand up for me.
And just like that, the raccoon fell over and disappeared. But before I could do anything else, I heard someone come up behind me.
Well, look who it is, boys.
You have a time-traveling helmet. How?
The big boss man made it for me. He's real smart now and is good with all them technologies. Speaking of which, we know you're hiding that little science man. Hand him over and we'll let you little goats live.
Why would I let you guys have him? You're just going to hurt him or try to get him to make more helmets.
We don't need him to make more helmets. Mr. Rex is gonna make all of us our own. Then you won't be able to do nothing.
You can make as many helmets as you want, but if there's no one to wear them, that's not gonna do you much good, is it?
Well, what do you mean, no one to wear them? Can't you see all my boys here?
All that technology on your head and you're still not very smart, are you? I jumped forward and swung at the raptor, knocking him back. There were a lot of them, but I couldn't let them get away with everything. They hurt my friend, and they wanted to hurt everyone else I knew. You guys are gonna pay for what you've done. I managed to knock out all of the raptors one by one until only the leader was left.
Boy, you're crazy. I'm getting out of here.
Get back here, you coward! I chased the raptor into the forest, but unfortunately he managed to get away in the trees. I had to hurry back to Faraday. We were running out of time. On days 58 to 62, I returned back to the base and headed for the lab. I knocked on the window, and Faraday came out to meet me.
Zozo, what is it? You look worried.
The T-Rex has figured out how to make his own helmets and is trying to give them to a whole army of raptors. That, and they hurt one of my new friends.
Oh dear, I'm so sorry to hear it. I do have some good news for you though. I haven't got the time travel fixed yet, but I built a tracker into this helmet that will lead you to anyone who has a helmet of their own. Perhaps now we may be able to find their base and hit them where it hurts.
I put the helmet on and started it up. Right away I could see a map that showed several X's on it. They must have split up. This is going to be a massive help in our hunt to track them down. Just then, Billy came walking up to us.
Zozo, I think you should go for the raptor first. Then we can focus on the T-Rex. Those raptors could be out there, hurting even more innocent animals.
That's a good point. Plus, it'll be easier to take down the T-Rex if his sidekicks are gone. I'm on it. On days 63 to 66, I decided that if I was going to fight the raptor, I needed to beef up my gear. I had nearly defeated him last time, so he'd be stronger when we met next. I headed across the land to a lavender field to get what I needed. Rumor says there's alexandrite ore here, which is even stronger than diamonds. I headed into the field and soon found some alexandrite ore. I mined it up as fast as I could. I couldn't believe I found it so quickly. With my pockets full of ores, I took a look around and saw a big sign on a hill. Oh, that reminds me, don't forget to sub to the channel, otherwise you'll miss our next adventure together. Sometime later, I had arrived back at the base and headed over to the crafting table. With the new ore, I was able to make myself a new helmet, chestplate, leggings, and boots. I went ahead and equipped everything. Let's get that tracking system booted up and take down that raptor. On day 67 to 70, I stepped outside my house and booted up the tracker. Okay, I can see 2 X's on the map. Looks like they're still separated. This one looks a little closer to the raccoon's place, so I'm guessing that's the raptor. I headed down from my base and off into the forest. The X was still pretty far away, so I made sure to stop and check every now and then. Oh, it looked like it moved. I better hurry so I can catch up to them. I kept going in the direction of the X, passing through some pretty impressive landscapes. It was too bad there were so many mean dinosaurs about because the land was really beautiful. I stopped and checked my map one more time. Okay, it looks like I'm pretty close and that they might be in some kind of structure. It must be their base. I kept making my way there when suddenly I saw a fortress off in the distance. I could see a bunch of raptors roaming around and a lot of them had helmets on. Uh-oh, looks like they've made more helmets. I better get in there and fast. On days 71 to 74, I charged up to the base and attacked the guards. They had helmets of their own, but they didn't seem to be very smart. The T-Rex clearly wasn't very good at making them yet. I defeated the guards and headed into the base. There were even more raptors in here. Where's your leader? I cut through the raptors using my spider sword and other attacks. They didn't stand a chance. I had to hurry though. If they figured out how to make the helmets perfectly, we'd be in a world of hurt. I'd finally taken out all of the raptors in the courtyard when I noticed they had a storage shed nearby. I started opening the different containers to see if they had anything good. I grabbed some of their supplies, but also saw there were some raptor teeth nearby. Oh, I know just the thing I can make with this. Using the crafting table, I managed to make a raptor tooth sword. Let's see how they like fighting against themselves. On day 75 to 78, I went to go find the raptor leader when he jumped out and hit me. Ouch! Get back here! I chased him into the base and down a long flight of stairs. We soon reached an open room.
Who do you think you are? One single goat trying to take down a whole base of raptors? This ends here. Get 'em, boys!
Suddenly, all the raptors in the room started to attack. This guy was no leader. He just wanted to make everyone do his dirty work for him. You'd think with all these smart helmets, you guys would actually have some kind of strategy for this fight. The raptors were swarming in on me, but I was able to keep them back, using all of my weapons. Their leader watched as I finished taking out all of his henchmen. Why don't you come down here and fight me yourself? Or are you too scared?
Scared? Ain't nobody calling me scared.
The raptor leader jumped forward and started swinging. It turns out he was actually pretty tough. I had learned a lot through all of my fights though, and nothing was going to make me back down. He had to pay for what he did to my raccoon friend. I hit him as hard as I could and could see he would soon be defeated.
Heh, it doesn't matter that you beat me. You'll never beat Mr. Rex. He's gonna fix the time machine soon, and then there'll be hundreds of raptors and other dinosaurs here. You won't stand a chance.
And just like that, he was defeated. He was right though. If we don't stop the T-Rex, we're all gonna be someone's dinner. On day 79 to 84, I was heading back to my base when I saw a nearby cave. It wouldn't hurt to get some more resources, so let's see what we can find. As I approached the cave, I was suddenly attacked by a bunch of mushroom pigs. I should have known I would run into something like you here. I quickly knocked them out and headed into the cave, fighting some more mushroom pigs along the way. They weren't very strong. There were a lot of them. That's when I noticed there was a bunch of redstone in here. I'm not sure what I can use this for yet, but maybe there's some kind of creative build Faraday can make with it. I continued into the cave, collecting as much redstone as I could find. There were also a bunch of mushroom pigs, which I quickly knocked out of the way. At the very end of the cave, there was a room filled with an insane amount of redstone. Oh yeah, if I ever need more, I know just where to get it. I headed back out of the cave toward my base. I needed to talk to Faraday. Hopefully he had made some progress on the helmet. On days 85 to 89, I had arrived back at the base and headed down into the lab. I gave Faraday a knock on the window and he came out to meet me. I told him all about what had happened with the raptors and how the T-Rex was starting to make even more helmets.
Yes, that is very concerning. I have been working on some updates as well, though. Let me show you.
While you look for that, I also collected some redstone. Maybe it can help. I tossed out the redstone I had gathered when suddenly there was a crackling sound coming from Faraday's pocket.
What's this? The substance seems to be reacting with the updated helmet I made.
The redstone? That's kind of weird, isn't it?
Ah, redstone is what you call it. This material must have disappeared before my time. Are you able to get more of this? I have an idea.
Oh yeah, I can definitely get more. I'll be right back. On days 90 to 94, I headed back to the redstone cave. He said he needed more. I'll get him more. more. I got right to work, mining out a bunch of the redstone. There was no way this wouldn't be enough. It took a long time, but I finally gathered up all the redstone we would need. Soon I was back in the lab and gave Faraday a knock on the window. As always, he was excited to meet me.
You've brought me more redstone, I presume?
Oh yeah, this should be more than enough to do whatever you're thinking. I tossed all the redstone I had gathered on over to him.
Excellent. Here's the upgraded helmet. This blue shield on top should protect you from the effects of the redstone.
Faraday then tossed out a bunch of redstone power balls.
Now that we've combined these with the redstone, they'll pack a powerful punch against anyone wearing a helmet. In fact, it should disable it, at least for a moment.
That'll be awesome. This is going to be a lifesaver, I'm sure.
Ah yes, speaking of which, there is a special strength ability I've programmed in it as well, but it will only work once, so be sure to only use it when you really need it.
I nodded and thanked him for all of his hard work. It's a good thing he got trapped in our time too. Otherwise, we'd never get out of this mess. On days 95 to 97, I decided I should upgrade the base one more time before heading out to face the T-Rex. Billy was still young and I wanted to make sure he had a safe place to live, just in case things went sideways. Once I had expanded the base a little more, I grabbed Billy and we went outside to work on the last part of the statue. This was a tough one to build, but I think it looks really cool. It would certainly scare off anyone who thinks that they're tougher than us, that is. Soon, we had completed the statue. I was pretty proud of everything we had built so far. I still had a lot of ideas for the future though. What part of the builds were your favorite? On day 98, I stepped outside the base to have a chat with Billy. All right, Billy, I'm headed off to fight the T-Rex. Hopefully, I'll see you soon.
Good luck, Zozo. But before you go, there was something I wanted to say.
That sounds important. What is it?
I just think that everyone needs to subscribe. Otherwise, we'll never win.
Oh, that is important. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, as that will give us the strength to win the fight. Billy headed back inside, and I booted up the tracking system. All right, I can see him on the map. It's showtime. I headed off in the direction of the T-Rex. It was now or never. On day 99, I had made it to the edge of the T-Rex's base. He definitely couldn't have built a base like this without some intelligence. This guy isn't going to be like the Raptors. This guy's for real. I made my way closer and took a look up at the tower. There's no time to waste. I'm coming for you, Rexy. I charged into the base and entered the inside of the tower where the T-Rex was waiting for me.
I've been waiting for you, Zozo.
That sounds kind of awkward, just standing here, alone, in a tower, waiting for me.
Nah, I don't have time for your nonsense. Obviously, I've been doing other things.
Oh yeah? Like what? Being sad I took out all of your friends?
My friends, please. There were more dinosaurs here too, but I got hungry.
You ate all of the other dinosaurs? You truly are a monster.
Say what you want, but it doesn't matter. This helmet is nearly fully operational. I can bring dinosaurs in anytime I want. And soon, I'll be able to jump time myself.
That wasn't good to hear. I had to hurry and take action before you could do anything else. If you think you're so tough, you'll have to get through me first.
That's the idea.
The T-Rex lunged at me and we started to fight. If I was going to save the future, the time to do so was now. The T-Rex lived up to his reputation, hitting me with some hard hits. It hurt, and my health was dropping fast. Oh, I can't let this guy keep getting these hits on me. I'm not gonna last long like this. I refocused and started to get in some more hits of my own. I think he was really surprised by how strong I was, especially when I would hit him with my headbutt.
You think you can defeat me? Let me show you what real power is.
Suddenly, 2 portals opened up and more dinosaurs came flying in. No, not the time travel! These dinosaurs were insane! I swung my sword and managed to take them out, but soon there were even more coming in.
Don't you see? You can take down as many dinosaurs as you want, but I will always have the upper hand.
He was right. I couldn't keep fighting off time-traveling dinosaurs forever. What could I do? Oh, wait a second. What am I doing? If I want to stop the time travel, I need to disable his helmet. I reached for the power balls Faraday had given me and started to throw them. As they hit the T-Rex, I could see his helmet start to spark as he ran around in circles.
Oh, what is going on?
This is it. I've got to use that one-time strength boost. If there was ever a time I needed it, it's now. I clicked the button on my helmet and I started to grow. I even gained more hearts. I was big enough to truly take him on now. This feels amazing. Now I really am the GOAT. I charged at the T-Rex and landed a hit on him, just as the sparking effects were wearing off.
What the? How did you get so big?
The T-Rex started to spawn in more dinosaurs, but it didn't matter. I quickly cut them down and kept hitting the T-Rex. This is for all the animals you hurt. I could tell I was really hurting him, but he was hurting me too. It was only a matter of time before one of us fell. Who was it going to be? Just then, I delivered the final blow, and the T-Rex disappeared, dropping his helmet. I don't believe it. He's gone. But I better hurry. Faraday needs this helmet. On day 100, I returned back to my base. This time, Faraday came out to meet me.
Zozo, you're back. You must have done it.
I did, and I couldn't have done it without your help. Here, let me give you the helmet back.
You know, why don't you hang on to it? I just need this one component. You never know. Something might come up again when I need your help. in the future.
You never know what's going to happen, but I'm glad that today was a success. In the meantime, I'll be here, ready for when adventure calls.
On day 1, I spawned in as King Kong. Check me out, I'm the king of the world. But wait, why do I only have a few hearts? I'm a massive ape for crying out loud. That's when I realized I was on a playground. Looks like I'm not the king quite yet. From out of nowhere came a man wearing a black suit and tie. Oh, he must be super nice. We can always trust strangers in nice suits, right?
Don't run, alien. You're coming with me. You're in trouble.
Alien? Why is he calling me that? Just then, the man in black started to try and capture me. I'll never go with you. Kidnapping is wrong. I couldn't believe this guy. I had no choice but to run.
Stop making a fuss and get into my unmarked vehicle. I have candy.
The man in black was chasing after me and kept calling me an alien. What's this guy's deal? I ran into the forest and climbed up a big tree. Nice try, kidnapper. After resting for a bit in the tree, I jumped down to see if the man in black was gone. The coast was clear. Phew, I hope I never see that guy again. Just then, I heard some rustling. Was he back? Nope, it was a badger. Oh boy, I'm glad it's just you. There was a really weird dude chasing me earlier. The badger didn't want to chat. He was mad that I was on his turf and tried to attack me. Back off, Badgie. I punched him and knocked him away. Huh, I'm not so weak after all. Nice try, punk. That badger had definitely learned his lesson. Or so I thought, because it wasn't long before I was surrounded by an entire badger gang. I'm having a really rough day. They had me surrounded. Suddenly, I felt something in my chest, and I let out a giant roar. The badgers jumped and ran off. I have no idea where that came from, but it worked. I'll have to remember that for the future. It was getting dark, so I climbed back up into a tree for the night to sleep in the branches. Wow, from up here, it's almost like I could touch the moon. It's huge. As I fell asleep, I couldn't help but wonder if I'd ever find a family out there, so I wouldn't be so alone. On day 2, I decided it was time to make my way in this world. I started to wander around and it led me to a jungle. Oh, this certainly feels like the place to make a home. I started to cut down wood and gather stone. I made my crafting table and got to work creating tools and a couple of weapons. Easy squeezy, weapon pleasey. I knew I was going to need a base very soon, so I started collecting resources for that too. But this was the jungle, and it wasn't long before I was disturbed by a very grumpy venomous snake. I know how to handle this. I took a deep breath and roared, and nothing happened. Uh-oh, maybe snakes don't have very good hearing. Oh well, I'll just have to take care of him the old-fashioned way. It was a good thing I had just made a sword, which I used to quickly take him out. Now that the snake was gone, it made me want to build a really well-hidden base. I didn't want the man in black to find me, or anything else for that matter. As I went deeper into the jungle, I soon saw a giant boulder. That rock would be a good foundation for my base. I got right to work constructing the beginnings of my jungle home. It was coming along nicely, but I soon got tired and needed to rest for the night. It was cozy in my small but sturdy base. I fell asleep thinking of plans to eventually construct my home into a jungle temple. On day 3, I woke up bright and early to explore the jungle. Suddenly, I heard a squeak and saw a cute little green creature running away from a big crocodile. I followed them and saw the poor little green creature was cornered by the croc. Hey, stop right there, croc. How about you take a bite out of this? I started hitting him with my sword. He snapped at me, but I was able to dodge his blows. We brawled for a bit, but eventually I was able to knock him out. I looked around for the little green guy and saw he was running away. Hey, I'm not mean, I promise. He didn't stop running, so I followed him. Don't be scared. Look, I've got a banana. Want one? The little green creature turned and stopped running. You're probably hungry. Here you go. He really liked it, and I think it helped him trust me.
Like banana, I do.
Oh, he can talk. I asked him his name and where his home was.
Luno, my name is. Lunarian, I am. On the moon, I live, but from the moon, I fell. Lost, I am. A lot of mean creatures here there are, but you, nice you are. Alone, I am.
I'm alone too. That's pretty cool you're from the moon though. I have no idea how to get you home, but I'm happy to try. The alien was relieved to hear I would try and help him. I invited him to stay at the base until we figured something out. He agreed and we went back together. On days 4 to 5, I made it back to the base. We added another room so that Luno had a space of his own. I'm going to need more materials to build some more of this temple. You stay here, Luno. I'll be back. I walked around the jungle and began mining and collecting all sorts of things from the temple. What was that? I thought I heard something. Guess not. I got back to collecting things. I heard some more rustling behind me and some malicious giggling. I turned and saw the group of badgers that had ganged up on me earlier. Oh brother, not you guys again. When are you going to just leave me alone already? I took in a big breath and gave my best banshee roar. Some of the badgers ran off, but some of them just stayed there. That's strange. Well, now I wasn't defenseless like last time. I brandished my sword. I got this in the badger. I started swinging and hitting the badgers that had stuck around. I'll bet they wish they had run away. After I had gotten rid of all of the badgers, I noticed one of them had dropped something. It was an item that protected against sound attacks. Pretty clever badgers. Gotta hand it to them. I finished gathering materials and headed back to the base. I told Luna what had happened with the badger.
Strong fighter you are.
Ah, shucks, Luno. It was getting late and had been a long day, so we settled in for the night. Luno looked up at the moon before he fell asleep. He missed his home. It was close, yet so far. On days 6 to 8, I woke up ready to
to face the day. I wanted to find upgrades for the base, and Luna wanted to explore a little bit too. I told him to be careful and call out to me if anything happened. While I explored below some azalea trees, I noticed an entrance to a cave. I know what this means. Iron time. I hopped down into the cave. It was so lush down here. I got out my sword and quickly took care of the slimy pests. I found some really neat, dark-colored cobblestone, plus plenty of iron. This cave rocked. Pun intended. I couldn't wait to check out more, but it was then that I heard something from outside the cave. I better take a look. I carefully peeked out of the cave and saw the men in black running past. He was back. That was close. He could have seen me. What is he up to now? That was Luno's scream. I rushed out of the cave to find Luno. I no longer cared about my safety. I couldn't let the man in black kidnap him. This is terrible. I should have never let Luno go off alone. I wasn't going down without a fight. Feel my wrath, kidnapper. I went to knock his blocks off, but before I could get over there, he suddenly evaporated into particles. What kind of kidnapper magic was this? I was left alone with only my regrets to keep me company. What was I to do? On days 9 to 10, I was so discouraged. The man in black was too cunning. There was no chance I'd be able to save Luno. I didn't even know where he was taken. Maybe a walk will clear my head. I wandered around the jungle and through the forest. Eventually, I ended up in a familiar spot. It was the playground I started off at. I climbed back onto the small skyscraper. There was something comforting about being on top of it. I'm supposed to be King Kong, king of the jungle, but I couldn't even save my friend. Sitting on the skyscraper gave me an idea though. I know, I can build a statue to help take my mind off of things. So I went back towards my base. I stopped at an area that was nearby, but not so close that it would give my base away. I started clearing the area for my big project. Once I was done clearing the area, I started the foundation of the skyscraper. Not too shabby. It was a great start, but that would be enough for now. It was about to get dark and mobs would be spawning. I headed back to the base and crafted some gear with iron to pass the time. I hoped Luna was okay. After a while, I decided to call it a night and got some sleep. On days 11 to 12, I got up bright and early. I was looking forward to building my statue, but I was going to need a ton of materials to build my skyscraper. I headed out of the jungle and into a bamboo forest. As I was exploring, I noticed a large building hiding among the plants. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. There was an old spooky looking mansion. I was so intrigued by it. I went inside and had a look around. I wonder who used to own this place. Maybe it was an explorer. I was taking a closer look at things when I was startled by the sound of someone clearing their throat. I turned and there was an old man looking at me.
Hello there. May I help you, old chap?
Sorry, I didn't think anyone lived here anymore.
Indeed I do. This old house isn't what she used to be, but I'm too old these days to keep up with the yard.
Oh, well, I like the way it looks. It's very earthy, and you have some really cool artifacts here. What a collection.
Thank you, dear boy, but these relics are all fake. You see, I'm an explorer, or I was when I was a bit more spry. When I would find something fascinating, whether it was an animal, artifact, or relic, I didn't want to take it. No, I wanted others to enjoy finding it too, so I would come home and recreate it. That way, the original would be right where it should be.
It's very honorable of you. I have mad respect for your respect.
Cheers. You know, you remind me of someone I met before. This might fascinate you if you'd like to see it.
He led me into his backyard, and there in the middle was a model of a giant King Kong looking gorilla.
I found this gigantic creature on an island where it was worshipped as a god. I was so amazed, I went home and built this replica here. It's my most treasured discovery, and I've always hoped I'd meet another, as I've heard this creature is no longer living.
I could tell he was thinking I was just like this great specimen. This is inspiring to see, but I'm much too small. I'll never reach that size.
This ape started out as a small bugger, just like you. Day by day, he grew stronger and bigger until he was a towering, fearsome giant. Maybe you too will steadily grow so big.
I wasn't so sure about that. I mean, I hope so, but I failed to save my friend. It was hard to believe I was destined for greatness. I said cheerio to the old explorer. I was glad I had met him. Then I continued collecting materials while also heading back towards home. While I was mining, I couldn't help but daydream about one day being a real king of the jungle. On days 13 to 15, I was making my way back to my base when I got the feeling I was being followed. I picked up my pace, hoping that would help, but I still couldn't shake that feeling. When I looked behind me, I finally caught a glimpse of something. Nope, I wasn't going to wait around to find out what it was. I booked it. I ran as fast as I could, but I was right. Something was following me, and that something was just as fast as I was. It was a tiger. It looks like I have no choice. I flipped around and faced him. No more running. I would just have to give it my all. Chew on this, tiger. I used my strength, my roar, and my sword. I gave it my all. He hit me a few times. There was no denying that this kitty was tough. This battle is intense. Even though it was a hard battle, I actually was holding my own. Whoa! All of a sudden, we both went tumbling off a cliff. But did that stop us? No! We landed in the water and kept at it. There was a fire that got ignited in me. Something instinctual, something primal. I let out a huge roar. We kept brawling, but in the end, I got the last blow and he was done. I came out victorious. Yes! I was so proud of myself. I could really step up to the plate when the odds are stacked against me and come out on top. I felt strength welling up inside of me, and I instantly evolved into a bigger version of King Kong. Okay, I wasn't quite the size of a jungle king, but I'd say I was at least a prince. Just call me Prince Kong, Prince Pong, Pong. Yeah, maybe I'll just stick to being called Zozo for now. On day 16 to 19, I was feeling so confident that I had some pep in my step. Maybe things weren't so hopeless with helping Luno. I had figured out how to defeat the tiger. Maybe, just maybe, I could figure out how to rescue Luno. I decided to return to the place of the kidnapping to see if I could find any clues. Bingo! And Sloppy was his name-o. There it was, a map on the ground. Looked like he dropped it in the chase. His mistake was my advantage. I looked it over and saw that it had a building on it labeled Men in Black's Secret Lab. These dudes really need to do some training on how to not compromise classified information. What a bunch of rookies. The map changed everything. This meant I had a shot at finding Luno, and this time I was going to save him. But first, I better get ready for battle. I wanted to upgrade my gear, so I went back to the lush cave and mined a bunch more iron. Some spiders crawled up and tried to bother me, but I showed them who was boss real quick. Mind your business, spiders. Get it? The spiders weren't amused. Oh well, you go squish now. I was on a mission. I would not be deterred. Once I gathered enough, I went back to my base and got to work, crafting a full set of heavy-duty iron armor and iron weapons. Now, I was ready, I hoped. On day 20 to 22, I set off, following the map to the secret lab that was no longer a secret. Seriously, can you believe they just dropped that really important map? I approached the area where the place was supposed to be, but I didn't see anything anywhere at first. But then I spotted it. It was a very well-hidden bunker lab. Without the map, I'd have never noticed it. I guess I can give them a little credit for camouflaging. Just then, some guards came out of the bunker. I quickly ducked out of sight.
Yeah, that little green alien is really adorable.
It's too bad he won't be around after today.
I was just getting used to having the little guy around. I think I'm gonna cry.
Pull yourself together, Fred.
Hey, I have feelings too.
I'm sorry, Fred. I know what this is really about. It's about the last bagel that Jerry took.
He already had one, Megan. Who does that? A monster, that's who.
Let it out, buddy. Have a good cry.
Talk about drama. I had to get in the door. Just then, 2 more guards came out to talk to the other ones. The door was ajar. This was my chance to sneak past the guards while they sorted out their feelings or whatever that was about. Okay, I'm in. That wasn't so hard. Just gotta find out where they're holding Luno, kick booty, and get out. No biggie. I turned a corner and found myself in a cafeteria full of guards. Uh-oh, wrong turn. Everyone turned and looked at me. So how about them burgers, huh? Talk about beefy. Well, I'll see myself out.
Intruder, get that gorilla!
That was my cue to run. I ran deeper into the base. They were so shocked to see a big gorilla, they weren't ready to fight. I took them out with just a few big punches. Ooh, one of them dropped a key. I know what to do with that. I put the key in the lock of the door they were guarding. Open sesame. Luno was inside the room.
Zozo.
He was so excited to see me. He was surprised how much I had grown. I told him I was sorry for taking so long to rescue him. He was just happy to see me and told me I was very brave. What a guy. No time to lose, Luno. We gotta break you out of here. The battle is only half won. We tried to hurry and make our way out without running into anyone else, but of course that was too good to be true. The man in black cut us off and blocked us from getting any further.
I'm not the bad guy here. This is what needs to happen. Surrender, or I will have to use this.
He flashed a fancy-looking gun. The gun didn't shoot bullets. Instead, it produced a terrible, debilitating sound. I quickly equipped my noise-canceling ear protection that I picked up from the Badgers. But poor Luno was spinning with confusion. No one was going to hurt my friend on my watch. I charged the man in black. I gave him a super punch and knocked him to the ground. He didn't get back up. He was out cold. Total knockout. You didn't stand a chance against these guns. Luno was still a bit disoriented, but he was okay. We rushed out of the lab and into the wilderness. The man in black never knew what hit him. On day 23 to 26, we returned to the jungle temple. I kept apologizing that I hadn't been able to stop the men in black from taking him, but he told me he didn't care, that it wasn't my fault.
Blame yourself for other actions. Do not.
I guess he had a good point. I tried my best, and sometimes bad things just happen. So, are you okay after being captured?
Heavy is my heart. Homesick.
I wish I could help. If only I could reach the moon. Wait a minute, I'm building a skyscraper sculpture. What if I build it so tall that it can reach the moon?
Great idea that is. Great friend Zozo is.
We ran over to the sculpture and continued building together. Phew, this was a huge undertaking. We definitely were going to need way more materials than we had in our stash. We would go find more supplies tomorrow. That night, as we both sat and looked up at the stars, we saw an interesting constellation. Does that make you think of anything? On days 27 to 31, I spotted a wandering trader walking by with his llama. I ran out and flagged him down. Good morning, can I see what you're selling? I am in need of a lot of andesite.
Is that so? I don't have a lot on me right now, but I'm on my way to a quarry that has tons of stuff. I often go there to ply my wares.
A huge source of materials that I can use for the skyscraper? What good luck. Thanks for that info. I'll certainly be taking a visit there.
I got other stuff though, if you want to make a trade.
I don't have any money.
That's okay. You can buy on credit and I will come collect later. It's the newest craze. Buy now, figure it out later.
That sounded good to me. I looked at his wares and saw an enchanted iron chestplate and a better helmet. I selected these items and then bid goodbye to the trader. I'd have to remember to come up with some money later, and went over to where Luna was and let him know I needed to make a journey to the quarry. I told him to wait at the base and make himself at home. I'd be back as soon as I could. Eat all the frogs and bananas you want while I'm gone. I headed out and eventually found myself wandering through the savannah. At one point, I started hearing some weird laughing around me. Back up, buddies. Trust me, you don't want a piece of me. But they clearly did want a piece of me. They didn't waste time in jumping all over me. There were so many of them, and they were fighting like there was no tomorrow. I was able to take quite a few of them out, but with so many around me, they definitely got a few good hits in. My sword proved to be strong too, but I had to give these guys some credit. They may have been smaller than me, but they really fought with a lot of heart. Unfortunately for them, it was me who ended up taking all of their hearts. Eventually, they were nothing but dust. Look who's laughing now. Actually, I feel a little bad for taking them all out, but fish gotta swim and Zozo's gotta survive. On days 32 to 35, I spotted the quarry in the distance on a mountain. As it got closer, I noticed it was pretty quiet. I didn't see any activity. Where is everybody? I poked around the quarry, searching for someone. Anyone. Finally, I came across an office. I walked in and saw a foreman sitting alone.
Well, how do you like that? It's one of them big gorillas. I'll be mine. Never seen one of your types around these parts.
I came here to get some skyscraper materials. Where is everybody?
Shoot, you're out of luck, big feller. This here quarry had done shut down. Yes, sirree. Why, this quarry used to be a real resource hoedown, but we had to shut things down because of that gosh darn monster.
Monster?
As sure as I'm standing right in front of you, there's a terrible lizard creature snatching up my workers. No one dares work here anymore. It was an HR nightmare, and if I ain't got laborers, then I can't get no resources to sell.
Well, if I take care of that monster for you, would they work for you again?
I reckon that'd do it.
Looks like I had my next mission. Slay the lizard, get the quarry back into working order, get boatload of materials. I started searching around for the monster lizard creature. I jumped down the mountain and eventually noticed a cave opening. That seemed like a good place for a monster to hide. I crawled around the cave, following its twists and turns. Eventually, the cave opened up and there laid a giant Komodo dragon. It was snoozing. I cleared my throat. Hey, I'm Zozo. I was just popping in to ask that you don't kill any more of the workers at the quarry, because it's really bumming everyone out, and the dragon jumped at me and snapped. Whoa, I'm sure we can talk this through. Nobody has to get hurt. The dragon was not interested in negotiations. I had no choice. I had to fight back. This dragon had a mighty bite. I was striking the lizard whenever I could and dealing some major blows. But this lizard wasn't going down easy. There was a reason it had become king of the quarry. Komodo dragons had a terribly venomous bite. Thankfully, I had upgraded my armor. Otherwise, I might have fallen prey to this clever lizard's venom. The dragon chased me all around, but I could tell it was losing hearts fast. It doesn't have to be like this. You can go find another place to live. Don't make me do this. These workers just want to make a living. You don't need to keep eating them. The lizard would not listen to reason. Can't say I didn't try. With my sword drawn, I dealt the final blow. I vanquished the dragon. Ooh, and it dropped a pendant. Most importantly, I can get this quarry up and running again and get Luno back to the moon. I looked around the Komodo dragon's nest for a second to see if there was anything of interest. I didn't see anything, but then I heard a little voice.
Mama?
Oh, she was a girl dragon with a baby. My bad. This poor baby was without a mother, and it was my fault. I felt terrible. Hey there, baby dragon. I'm not gonna hurt you. I hope you can forgive me about your mom.
She wasn't my real mom. She was a really mean stepmom. Honestly, you did me a favor.
Phew, that was a relief to hear. Imagine if they had gotten along. This would have been super awkward. I told the baby that she was welcome to be my friend and to let me know if there's anything I could do for her. Then I headed out of the cave and back to the office. The baby followed at a distance. On day 36 to 39, I told the foreman that the monster had been taken care of and that the workers could come back now.
Yeah, well, ain't that just a kick in the pants? That's mighty grand. There's just one teensy-weensy problem.
Another problem?
You see, my workers ain't around no more. With no work here, they're fixing to make a new quarry of their own over yonder. But word is, that dog won't hunt. They's trapped in the middle of a newly formed lake after a big flood in that there area.
All right, point me in the direction and I'll see what I can do.
Go that way.
I stepped outside the office and saw the little dragon poke his head out from a nearby mine. I felt so bad. She didn't have anyone to care for her now, so I told her she could come with me. I hope this wasn't a fool's errand. Eventually, we came upon the lake, and sure enough, just as the foreman said, out in the middle was an island with some small houses. I crafted a boat. We sat out up across the water and soon reached the other side. Once we got on the shore, the quarry workers came out to greet us.
Are you the rescue team? We have been waiting so long. Monster! Killer monster!
Oh no, I should have realized the baby would trigger these workers. No, I took care of the monster for you. This is just a cute, harmless baby. There's no need to be alarmed. I am here to rescue you and take you back to the quarry. As I said, there's no dangerous monster anymore. You now have a safe work environment. So what do you say? Want to get out of here? The workers cheered. They were tired of being on the tiny island. I offered them my boat, but they said it wouldn't be possible because they needed to take all their equipment with them. That was quite the conundrum, but that's what I was here for, to fix all the problems. I sailed back across the lake and started chopping down a bunch of trees. Eventually, I had enough to construct a simple bridge. Before going back to the island, I found a cave and collected some cobblestone. After grabbing some of that, I decided it was a good idea for me and the baby to take a nap. We had had a really long day and would need the energy. On days 40 to 43, I started to construct the bridge out of wood and stone to get across the lake. Halfway through making the bridge though, I hit a problem. More like a problem tried to hit me. There was a shark in the water. I should be able to give this guy a nice big conk on the head. I reached down to hit the shark, but it bit me. I kept struggling to climb out of the water, I saw the shark coming for me. I'm done for. But just as it reached me, the baby Komodo swiped its tail, smacking it hard in the face. The shark turned its attention onto the baby, and she snapped her venomous mouth at the shark. It didn't stand a chance after that. Thank you for saving my life, little one. And I'm still sorry about your stepmom. She really didn't seem upset by it. By the way, do you have a name?
It's Bubblegum.
Nice. That's a cute name. I finished the bridge and made it back over to the workers.
Thanks, Mr. Zozo. We'll start heading back to the quarry with all our stuff.
That was good to hear. I hadn't expected so many bumps in the road, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. Bubblegum and I got back to the quarry before the workers did, so I went to the office and let the foreman know the good news. He was so giddy that he was hooting and hollering.
We'll be up and running lickety-split. You'll be the first one to get what you need, and we'll give it to you on the house for all your troubles.
Sounded fair to me. I thanked him, and he let me know it'd be ready soon enough. On days 44 to 49, I returned back to my base with Bubblegum by my side. I told Luna about the drama and introduced Bubblegum. Then I noticed that the wandering trader was still hanging around. Hey, it took a bit of trouble, but I got things at the quarry back in order. They'll be starting production immediately. He was so happy to hear that. His line of work was no longer compromised.
You know, I have a network of other traders who could help bring the other materials over. That way you can get your stuff quicker. What do you say?
Sure, that would be great. Just let me know the cost.
Just put it on the credit.
Okay, I sure hoped I wouldn't live to regret that. Oh well, I noticed that Luna and Bubblegum were getting along really well. Hey Luna, I was thinking that Bubblegum could stay at our base. Are you okay with that? Luna loved the idea, so I started cutting out a spot to make room for Bubblegum to enjoy. Then it was time for some much needed sleep. On days 50 to 53, the first load finally arrived from the quarry. You people sure work quick. Talk about a speedy delivery.
We upgraded you to Wandering Trader Prime.
What's that going to cost me?
Don't worry about it. We'll just put it on your credit.
Okie dokie. I realized I was going to need somewhere to store all these materials. That was no problem. I built more of the skyscraper, but unfortunately, I realized the next hurdle. Glass. I needed a lot of glass. This project was surely exhausting. I know what will help me figure out my problem. Sleep. In the morning, I spoke with the traveling trader and asked if he had any connections to some serious glass stash.
You know, I do actually know of a glass factory, although it's some distance away.
Well, sounds like I'm due for another adventure. I'll set out now. I felt better leaving Luna alone now that Bubblegum was there to keep him company. I traveled through a few different biomes and eventually wound up at the glass factory. It felt like deja vu. I had a sneaking suspicion that this place was not in working order, just like the quarry. I entered the factory and saw that it was staffed by piglins.
You there. We have lost enough. Just leave us in peace.
I'm not here to cause you any trouble. I'm here to purchase some glass. Is there a problem with the factory?
Oh, there's a problem, all right. We've been overtaken by raiders. They told us they won't let us do any more mining for coal unless we pay them for access. But we're just piglins. How in the world are we to pay them?
That stinks.
I'm sorry, but I had Brussels sprouts for lunch. It makes me gassy.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that. Well, anyway, let me know how to help you. I'm pretty good these days at roughing up bad guys. Let me go have a chat with them. The piglins were excited to hear it and pointed me in the direction of the raiders. I was happy to get going because there was a really stinky smell around that piglin. I went in the direction they pointed me to and saw the mine was full of raiders. I'm ready to raid the raiders who raided the mine. No more Mr. Nice Kong. These dudes were slowing down my skyscraper production, not to mention being jerks to the piglins. I charged into the mine, muscles ablazing. I was tired of all this drama. I had a moon to get to. I didn't have patience for these punks. It's chopping time. They didn't know what hit them. I swung my sword and took out a bunch of them with ease. That's what I'm talking about. I got lower into the mines and saw diamonds all over the place. Sweet sparkles. Don't mind if I do. Is that pun getting old? I don't care. I'm just going to keep saying it. I quickly mined a bunch of diamonds and then went back to kicking some mob bum. There were a lot of them, so they got a few hits in, but these guys were like pesky fleas. Annoying, but no match for what I'd been through. Sadly, my armor was getting pretty damaged. Once at the bottom, a vindicator with hoarding the stash. So, you've been keeping the piglins out of the mine so you can have all the diamonds to yourselves. Diamonds may last forever, but your reign of terror is over. But then it came at me hard. Now I was starting to get nervous. My hearts were starting to go down. Then I got a weird idea. The vindicator was instantly drawn to it, as if he forgot all about the fight.
If it fits, I seats.
The vindicator captain was trapped. Oh, I can't believe that worked. I jumped down and landed endless blows to Vindicator. If you sits, I chop you to bits. Finally, the Vindicator was no more, and I was left the champion in the room of diamonds. I looked around the room some more and also found some chests full of gold. I can pay back the traders with this. I really had come a long way since my time on that playground. On days 58 to 62, I woke up and took a bunch of coal and diamonds and went back to the glass factory. I walked in and they all squealed with delight that I wasn't dead.
Praise Cole, you weren't overtaken. Does this mean you won, or did you flee?
I'll let all this coal do the talking. I showed them some coal.
You got coal, but coal can't talk, you know. You are very strong, but you seem to have knocked a few marbles loose up in that noggin of yours.
I know, it's just a saying. Oh, never mind. Anyways, yeah, I got rid of all the raiders. Now you can go and get everything you need.
Huzzah! Now we can mine our business for free.
About that, you said you didn't have a way to pay the raiders, but why didn't you use the diamonds to pay them? Piglins seemed confused. They had no clue what I was talking about.
Oh, you mean these shiny rocks? Bless your heart. Those silly rocks are utterly useless. Yes, 2 too hard to even craft or melt down into anything. Again, I think you might need to see a doctor soon about that head of yours.
Oh, brother. I'll just let them think what they want. They weren't the brightest bunch, but they knew how to make some good quality glass. That's all I needed them to know about. So, should I be able to get regular deliveries of glass soon? Piglins let me know that they would make sure I was their priority for sending glass to. And as a gift for helping them out, they gave me a furnace sword. It showed how much they valued coal over diamond. This sword was so cool. I thanked them for the great treasures I now possessed. I couldn't wait to show my friends what I had found. On days 63 to 66, I returned back home to my base. I had glass from the factory, and now would get regular deliveries coming from the depot very soon. I was very excited about how things were looking up. I told my friends all about my adventures fighting the den of dangerous raiders at the mine. They were both so impressed and excited to hear about it. And then I said, if you sits, you be chopped to bits.
Huh, nice one, Zozo.
Yes, that it you still have.
I decided to craft diamond armor for each of us. Once I had the armor finished, I walked out and found the wandering trader. I was excited to fix my credit score with him. Hey, I'm ready to settle my debt. He couldn't believe I had enough to pay him. I gave him a giant amount of gold, and he was super happy about it.
Finally, my wife won't be so mad at me anymore for not getting paid for my labors all the time.
With the stash of new materials I had acquired, I began to add more to the skyscraper. You know, some windows, some walls, that kind of thing. This bad boy was getting some good height to it. Luno came and admired the work I had done. He said he was lucky to have a friend that cared so much about getting him home. I knew he would do the same for me. I also know he would like and comment on my YouTube videos, and you should too. On days 67 to 70, I was on top of my skyscraper when Luno pointed to something in the sky a good distance away.
What could that be?
Oh, I think it's a bird. Wait, no, it's a plane. No. It's the man in black! Oh no, he had found us! It'd be pretty hard not to see, I guess. I'm sure you could see it from miles away. The man in black was traveling via jetpack through the sky.
I'm sorry, but that alien must come with me. Give him up or I'll have to take him by force.
His name is Luno, and he is staying. Don't make me beat you up again.
I would like to see you try.
I jumped at him, but he flew off the skyscraper. Ugh, get over here and fight me like a man! He zoomed around me. Every time he got close, I would swat at him, but he was always just out of reach. I was running all around the skyscraper top. Then the man in black dive bombed me. Dude, I almost fell off. He dive bombed me again and I slapped him away. The next time, the man in black didn't come at me. He made a beeline for Luno instead. Luno was about to be taken. Luno! Luno held his little green hand up towards the man in black, and the man in black stopped moving in midair. The little alien had mind powers. Luno, you never told me you had special powers.
On the moon, they are not so special.
Here on this planet, we consider that a superpower. Now hold him right there, Luno. I'll finish him off. I punched the man in black's jetpack enough times that it malfunctioned, and he went plummeting to the ground. Look, he's falling. With style. We sure make a good team, Luno.
Thank you, friend. A great warrior you are. A good heart you have. A secret, I must tell you. Fell from the moon? I did not. Come here to seek help? I did. Being killed by a moon monster, my people are. In need, we are, for a champion. Told you I should have. Worried I was that you would not accept the challenge. But now I know you are the most brave hero. Sorry I am for not being upfront.
Don't be sorry. I would be happy to help once we reach the moon. Thank you for being honest. Our conversation was interrupted by screaming from down below.
What happened to the MIB we should see?
On days 71 to 74, Luno and I got to the bottom of the skyscraper only to discover that the man in black was still alive. I felt kind of bad for him. Well, I felt bad until I saw he had bubblegum on a leash. The man in black managed to get his jetpack working and took off with bubblegum, leaving us shocked at the turn of events. This guy is the worst. I can't believe he survived that fall. And now he has sweet baby bubblegum. Luno and I were so sad. Why would he take her? It just didn't make sense. Did he think she was an alien? What did he want with her? I spotted something on the ground. Maybe it was part of the jetpack. It was a strange material. I didn't recognize it.
You okay there, Zozo? Sounded like there was a big fight happening.
A piglin delivery guy stopped over to check on us. Yeah, there's this jerk who's been trying to capture us, and he took off with our friend. He dropped this.
I've seen that material before. It was over in Stony Peak Mountain. Yep, definitely seen that stuff. But I don't know what it is.
There wasn't much to go on, but it was all I had, and decided to follow the clue. On days 75 to 78, I hurried and made it to the Stony Peak Mountains. It was beautiful up here. Lots of stony peaks. Imagine that. Atop the peaks, I noticed something that actually wasn't a peak. It was an observatory. Right on, that's gotta be what I'm looking for. I knew it wouldn't be a walk in the park getting up the mountain, and I was right. Mobs, mobs, mobs. Say hello to my little friend. I used my new furnace sword. I was on fire. I kept swinging and swinging, hitting them as hard as I could. Eventually, I made it out on top to the top of the mountain. The fun had just begun. I was at the observatory door, facing 2 robot guards. I don't suppose you'd just let me pass.
Turn back. You are not permitted to enter.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I came this far, so either you're gonna let me through, or I'm gonna rip your arms out of your metal sockets.
Hostile enemy detected. Annihilate.
Looks like it'll be the hard way. I dodged their weapons and got a hold of them and let it rip. Didn't take too much to disassemble these dudes. I kicked open the doors and went ape crazy. I really tore it up in the place. There were plenty more robots as I searched the many hallways, and sure, they dealt me some damage, but I managed to obliterate them. You won't be back. I fought my way to the basement, but there was no sign of bubblegum. I couldn't help but wonder if I had come here for nothing. What if my friend wasn't here? No, I had to stop that kind of talk. I still had to search to the top. On days 79 to 84, I headed for the top of the observatory. And what do you suppose? That smug man in black was waiting for me at the top. Bubblegum was in a cage next to him. Well, if it isn't the man in splat. Get it? Because we tossed you off a skyscraper? I noticed there was a giant telescope pointed at the moon. Didn't anyone tell you it was rude to spy on people?
You don't know anything about me or this operation. I demand that you bring me the little green alien. I will trade you for your non-alien friend here.
Let me think about that. No. But you will give me back my Komodo dragon and leave us alone forever. And if not, well, then this conversation has got me really fired up. Let's rumble. We went head to head. This guy had all sorts of techie weapons. He knew he had to up his game against me. Clearly, he had expected this fight. We aimed, we hit, we blocked, we jumped. Why do you even want the alien? Just so you can torture him in your stupid little lab with your emotionally distraught guards? Yeah, that's right. I know all about your bagel incident. I won't let you hurt my friend.
Ugh, Fred. I'm so firing him when I get back. Listen, we aren't going to torture the aliens. I'm trying to protect it from violent animals, like you. And yes, we will study it a little, but nothing harmful. I saw that alien come down from the moon in my telescope. I've been searching for him ever since, and then you butted in.
We continued to fight, but I slowed down a bit. Hold on. We both want to help Luno. That's the alien's name, by the way. You'd know that if you were friendly for once, instead of using force to get the alien. He needs help. There's a moon monster destroying their lives, and I'm going to help stop it. We stopped fighting.
That explains a lot of what I'm seeing in my telescope. I think I had the wrong idea about you, and I think you had the wrong idea about me. I'm sorry. I see now that you were looking out for the aliens, Luno's best interest. Maybe we better stop fighting each other and team up instead. What do you say?
Well, as much as I was looking forward to kicking your butt King Kong style, I guess we can let it be. Now, can you let my baby friend go, please?
Yeah, sorry. We thought she was an alien too.
You really need to get out more.
So, what was your plan to save the Lunarians?
Building that skyscraper to touch the moon. Then, I'll go to the moon and face the monster. We got bubblegum out, and the man in black told me to return to the base and that he would be there soon. First, he needed some time to work on a tech weapon and started the trek home with bubblegum. A jetpack would have been handy, but oh well, walking was fine. On days 85 to 89, I arrived back to the temple with the baby in tow. Luno greeted us excitedly. He couldn't believe I had found bubblegum.
Nothing there is that you can't do. A hero you are.
I was excited to tell Luno all about the encounter with the man in black. I explained that he wasn't going to be a threat any longer, but in fact, he was going to help. Luno and bubblegum went inside to catch up. I was lucky to have found those two. I didn't have a family, and if I really was a King Kong, it sounded like I was the only one. Family comes in many forms. There's the family you're born into, and the family you make along the way. A wandering trader interrupted my monologuing.
I've been watching you. I'm moved by how much you care for your friends. It reminds me of our good friend Johnny. Rip. He was always sticking his neck out for me and saving me from things. In his honor, I'd like to give you an upgrade, free of charge. This will make you even stronger, if you can imagine that.
I thanked him profusely. What a nice guy. I climbed up into the temple and realized I hadn't had much time for renovating the temple. I wanted it to look impressive for the man in black. I added upgrades and a lab area for the man in black, in case he needed it. It took a lot of hard work, but after a while, I was able to get everything completed. That's when I heard some shouting. Oh, what now? It was a piglin and a delivery person. They weren't in any trouble. Quite the opposite. They were excitedly letting me know that the deliveries were complete. Oh, thank you for your hard work. On day 90 to 94, I crafted the enchantment materials the trader had given me. I was able to fully enchant all my armor and gear. I was super excited about that. This armor is perfect. I was ready to finish the work on the skyscraper. I buzzed around, building it taller and taller and taller and taller. This skyscraper was truly a ridiculous height now, and it was practically out of the Earth's atmosphere. I steadily climbed to the very top of the skyscraper to see how much closer I needed to be to the moon. I realized I was having a hard time breathing. There wasn't much oxygen up here. I guess I hadn't thought about that. This could be my undoing. Just then, as if he had planned it this way, the man in black appeared beside me.
Nice work on the skyscraper, Zozo. It's looking pretty stellar. That's a word kids still use nowadays, right? At any rate, I made you the spacesuit to help you breathe out here.
Wow, I was really glad he and I were on the same team. I thanked him, and then he also gave me an item that would make me super strong.
Wait to use it until you're on the moon. With the change in gravity, it'll work really well. Just don't use it here on Earth. It hasn't been studied yet, and I don't think it'll have the same effects.
I guess that man in black wasn't so bad after all. On days 95 to 97, it was an exciting day. The skyscraper was finally complete. Now I really am king of the world. I knew that little tiny gorilla on the playground skyscraper would have been really proud of me now that I had come a long way. Pun intended. Luno joined me at the top. He was used to the atmosphere and didn't need anything special to breathe. So, what do you think?
Incredible it is. Strange to be back in space it is. I am scared to face the monster, but with you by my side, win, we will.
I told Luno to go back down to Earth and that he didn't need to come to the moon with me this time. Instead, I would let him know when it was safe again. Luno listened to me and went back down. I built a small bridge to connect the tip of the skyscraper
skyscraper to the moon. The bridge reminded me of how it's important to stay connected by subscribing to the channel, so we can always connect you to our exciting new adventures. On day 98, I took one small step for me, one great leap for the Lunarians. Houston, the King Kong has landed on the moon. It was so cool being on the moon. This gravity was crazy. I started to bounce around to take in my surroundings. I didn't see a single soul, but I did see a half-destroyed moon base. Something had definitely been here causing trouble. It was then that I remembered what the man in black gave me. I pulled out the strength potion and chugged it down. I could feel the power coursing through my veins. Whoa, this feels amazing. I started growing like crazy, becoming a mighty King Kong, just like the one the explorer had told me about. He was right. I did have it in me to become a great Kong. Zong Kong. Zong Zong? Either way, I was mighty. And check out my hearts. Now that's what I'm talking about. All this commotion must have gotten the attention of the moon monster though, because he came out of his hiding space next to the ruined base. Prepare to meet your match. The monster opened up its mouth and breathed lasers at me. Whoa, I didn't expect that. I then crashed into him, knocking him off balance. He continued to shoot lasers at me. Ooh, those lasers are wicked hot. We rolled and brawled all over the moon. He had some really powerful attacks. They hurt and did some major damage to my health. I wouldn't have stood a chance if it wasn't for this mega strength potion I took, so I sucker punched him real hard. I opened my mouth to test out my supersized roar, but the sound waves didn't work right on the moon. Shoot, I was really hoping to use that ability. I would just have to make do with what I had. Heart counts for a lot, and I was doing this for the creatures I cared for. On day 99, the fight raged on, and I found myself losing. This beast was just too powerful, and I was sure he had advantages of being on his own turf. I was pushed towards my skyscraper. I had to make a decision. If I didn't retreat now, I could lose the battle altogether. I got onto the bridge and started destroying it as I ran across to the skyscraper. At least I'd have the last minute to regroup and heal myself before... Oh no, the beast took a running leap and jumped onto the skyscraper. I just let this heinous creature off the moon. Oh, this was bad. This was very bad. I couldn't allow him to climb down and start destroying Earth, and it was all my fault. I fought with all my might, and I was super weak now. Things are not looking good. I think this is the end. The monster got ready to deliver his final blow when suddenly he stopped. He was frozen. I looked around. To my great relief and surprise, I saw not just Luno, but a bunch of other little aliens that looked just like him. They were using their mind powers together, bravely and triumphantly. You saved me.
Saved us, you did. Showed us bravery, you did. Help Zozo, we must. Now, finish him.
They positioned the monster on the edge of the tower, and I used all my King Kong strength to knock him into next week. He fell from the skyscraper, down, down, down to his death. We had done it, together! On day 100, we were back at the Jungle Temple.
I figure you guys might like this big telescope for my base. That way you can check in on your family super easily.
I really misjudged you, Man in Black.
You can call me Kim.
Kim, I'm really glad we're friends now. Please feel free to visit anytime you like. It was time to say goodbye to my space friend. I didn't want to tell him, but I was super sad about him leaving. He felt like family to me, but he had his real family to get home to, and I would not get in the way of that. I guess this is goodbye. I'll never forget you. We all looked up at the moon together.
I'll never forget you either, because returning home, I am not doing. I wish to stay here.
I couldn't believe my ears. I was so happy to hear he wanted to stay. It was the perfect situation, and Bubblegum was really happy to hear that Luna was staying too, and waved at the Lunarians, waving back at us. On day 1, I spawned in as Iron Man, and look, I'm not a baby, I'm all powered up. I flew around firing lasers. This was really cool. These zombies have met their match. Time to say goodbye. I blasted the zombies out of the way. They were no match for the might of Iron Man. Once they were all destroyed, I was floating over the forest, scanning the area. Suddenly, something hit me out of nowhere. What was that? I didn't see who it was, but I heard a voice.
Say goodbye to your power.
I had hit the ground, but managed to survive. But look, now I only have 5 hearts. I had to hurry and leave the area though. Whoever that was could come back. Later, as I was escaping through the forest, a group of zombies came running up to me. I know how to handle these guys, but that was when I had my suit and powers. I didn't stand a chance now. I had no choice but to run away. I can't believe someone caught me off guard. They better watch out, because I'll stop at nothing to get my power back. But that was another day, so I settled in for the night. On day 2, I woke up all alone, still feeling weak without my powers. I had to figure out who was out to get me. I've got quite the mission ahead of me. I'm going to be building and making all kinds of really cool things. But before I can do that, I need to start with the basics. I went outside and got right to work punching trees. With the wood I had collected, I then made a crafting table. Using the crafting table and my leftover wood, I made myself some wooden tools, including a sword. Time to find some lunch. I went outside and soon came across a rabbit. That's going to have to do for now. I chased it down and got its meat. I might be trapped in the wilderness with no powers, but that doesn't mean I have to eat raw meat. As I took a look around, I soon came across a village. In the middle of the village was a campfire. Let's get cooking. I laid down my rabbit meat and let it sizzle. Soon, I had some cooked meat. I took a bite and was feeling much better. Suddenly, I realized what kind of village it was. It was a pillager village. Uh-oh.
no, time to run. Pillagers chased me, but I managed to get away without losing my life. Later that evening, I took the simple supplies I had collected to start making myself a house to stay in. If those pillagers found me, at least I would have some walls to protect me. Soon, the hut was complete, and I settled in for the night. On day 3, I awoke to a knock on the door. Who could that be? I opened the door and saw it was Captain America. Or well, I guess it was just Steve Rogers. He wasn't looking so good. Steve, what's wrong? You're not looking like your normal fit self.
I was worried something had happened to you. I see now I was right. Your friend Ironmonger is to blame for this. I was minding my own business when he suddenly came out of nowhere. I don't know how he did it, but he managed to take away all of my powers. We might not be strong enough to help him right now, but we need to hurry and warn the others he's coming for him.
That's a good point. Let's stick together while we figure this out. Steve agreed, and so we figured it would be good to start building a proper base. We did some scouting around and soon found a nice cliffside that would work perfect. I didn't have my powers, but I could still get shipments of stuff sent to me. After a bit, an express delivery with all the supplies we'd need showed up, and we got to work. Building a house on a cliff like this reminded me of my mansion in Malibu. It wasn't going to be quite like that, but I was hoping to eventually make something just as impressive. Soon, the beginning of our base was complete. Thanks for your help, Pete. We'll let you know if anything else comes up. On days 4 to 5, Steve came over to talk. He wanted to know if I knew where any other superheroes were. Sorry, buddy, I don't. I really wish I did, though.
Well, you're a pretty smart guy, right? Is there something you could invent?
I thought it was a good question, but nothing came to mind. I stared at my empty crafting table when suddenly I had an idea. Oh wait, maybe that could work. I headed out to the caves to gather the materials I would need. If I could just get everything I would need, this special item would be the perfect solution to our problem. By the time I had made it into the deepest part of the cave, I had already managed to make myself some iron gear. It was about to come in handy as I was suddenly attacked by a bunch of magma cubes. Alright, boxheads, you're just what I was looking for. I swung my sword and managed to take a few of them out. As they disappeared, they dropped some charged coal. Once the threat was taken care of, I also found some nearby palladium, which I happily mined up. Alright, that's everything I'm going to need. Let's make this special item. I soon arrived back at the house and got right to it, smelting down the palladium into ingots. I also needed a compass, which Steve gave to me. At long last, the final pieces were starting to come together. I went to the crafting table and used the palladium, charged coal, and compass to make my special item, a superhero radar. Sure hope this works. Steve and I headed into another room, and I set the radar down in the center. I placed a lever on the wall and flipped it. The radar started to make a sound, and a purple line came out of it. That line is pointing us to a nearby superhero. Now we can help them. On day 6 to 8, I checked the radar again to get a clear direction of where to go. I told Steve to hang back at the base and keep an eye on the radar, just in case anyone else popped up on it. Let's go see who it's gonna be. I left the base and ran off in the direction the radar had indicated. Hopefully I could get to them in time. After a bit of traveling, I soon reached a village, but it looked like the place was abandoned. Hello? Is there anyone here?
Thought it was you stomping around.
Black Widow had come out of nowhere. Natasha, I can't believe I found you. There's no time to explain, but I need you to come with me.
Listen, I don't trust anyone that much, even you. You're gonna have to give me some kind of explanation.
Okay, Steve is back at my base, and you see neither of us have our powers anymore. So we've got to hurry to get out of here, or the same will happen to you.
Don't have your powers? Who or what did that to you?
Ironmonger! It was an answer to her question, but also an exclamation. He had popped up out of nowhere. Black Widow had sprung into action, trying to fight him off. I was still too weak though, and had to run away. Hang in there, Natasha. They continued to fight, but it was no use. Ironmonger was too quick, and managed to hit her with a special gun. He had taken away all of her special abilities.
Huh. I don't know what you two are up to, but knock it off. Go live normal lives like the ordinary people you are.
Before he could do us any more harm, we ran away. I couldn't believe he was able to do it again. On days 9 to 10, Black Widow and I arrived back at the base. We met up with Steve.
Natasha, it's good to see you. Wait, did something happen?
It was Ironmonger. I had gotten there in time, but he showed up and was able to steal her power.
Oh no, did you see where he went?
No, we had to get out of there. I hate this feeling. I've never felt so useless.
It's okay. Keep your head on straight.
I need some time to clear my head. I decided to get to work, building Natasha her own place to stay at the base. It was good to have a project to keep my mind busy. I couldn't believe I was beaten by my own friend. Soon, Natasha's room was complete. On days 11 to 12, I went to check the machine and saw there was a new signal, but this time it was different.
What is it? What does it mean?
Not 100% sure. It's a new invention that even I don't understand completely.
Well, if it's pointing to a friendly, it's worth a shot trying to save him.
Yeah, I'm not so sure, Cap. What good are we as rescuers if we can't really rescue someone? Ironmonger is just going to show up again.
You don't know that. And come on, you know there's more to this than just being the strongest.
That's certainly something coming from you. I'll see what I can find. I left the base and headed in the direction the radar was pointing. As I looked around, I felt like I wasn't seeing anything. That's when I realized I was back at the place I had crashed on day 1. Suddenly, I noticed something nearby on the ground. I picked it up. Jarvis, is that you? What are you doing out here, buddy?
Hello, sir. I'm delighted to see you have found me.
So am I. How are you?
I am here, but I am damaged. I am sorry for the loss you have suffered.
So am I, buddy. But hey, do you think you can help? You've got all that information from my suit stored in your memory, don't you?
I do, or rather I believe I do. My memory banks have been damaged, but it seems plausible they can be recovered. We will need to find the correct materials in order to recover it.
Sure, we can do that. I built a suit once, I can surely do it again. What's on that materials list of yours? Jarvis gave me the list of what I needed, and I headed off, right away. On days 13 to 15, I arrived at some caves, and headed on in to gather up the materials Jarvis had mentioned. First, I gathered up a bunch of iron, which was one of the main things I would need. Then I found some titanium, which was also going to come in handy. Alright, that should be everything I need from here. I then left the cave and found myself in a herd of cows. I took some of the cows out in order to get some leather. That was all the ingredients I was going to need. Time to get back to the base. On days 16 to 19, I made it back to the base and went into my garage. It was crafting time. I put the iron in the furnace and started smelting iron ingots. Then it was titanium's turn, which started smelting into titanium ingots. While the ores were smelting, I then opened a nearby chest and grabbed some glass I had. Then at the crafting table, I added the glass to some iron and palladium to make myself a new arc reactor. At last, power! With my new palladium arc reactor, I could start to put together a new suit. I grabbed the ingots I needed out of the furnace, then used iron, titanium, leather, and the arc reactor to make myself a chest plate. Oh yeah, here we go. With the chest plate finished, I then used the rest of my materials and made the leggings, boots, and of course, the helmet. This isn't the best suit I've ever made. In fact, it's just as good as the first one I built in a cave in the desert, but it'll be better than having nothing.
Hey, what have we got here?
Steve and Natasha had walked into the garage.
You built a new suit. It's gonna be so good for you. How did you pull it off?
It was with the help of Jarvis. I found him at the crash site. His memory is damaged, but he remembered enough to help me build this suit.
Think that's a good idea?
Do you think it's not?
No, it's great. It's just that you said Jarvis was damaged. I'd hate to see something go wrong.
I assured him that Jarvis was working well enough to help me make the suits again without putting any of us in danger. That seemed like an excuse though. Steve was probably just jealous I was getting my powers back and he wasn't. Before I could say anything else though, Natasha mentioned that she and Steve had gotten more food and stored it in the kitchen. All that crafting had made me hungry. I went over there to cook up some steak. This is going to be much better than Wild Rabbit, that's for sure. When the steak was ready, I scarfed it down. Delicious! I then went and started to make some more upgrades to the base. I was a man of luxury, so I decided the house needed a swimming pool. I picked a good spot and got the thing installed. All this building has given me an idea for one more big project. I headed out and got to work building a statue. These were dark times, and there was always one thing that could be a light in the darkness. Let me know what you think I'm building. Soon, the first part was complete. On days 20 to 22, I heard a notification go off on the radar, telling me another superhero had been found. I went and told Steve and Natasha the good news. They both wanted to come with to find who it was, but I told them it might be good for just me to go, given that I was the only one who had regained any of my power. As I put my suit on, I saw my health increase to 8 hearts. I was also stronger and had a flamethrower attack. It was time to help our fellow superhero. As I got closer to the place the radar was pointing me to, I saw a large tower in the middle of the forest. I knew just who I would find inside. As I reached the top, I could see Dr. Strange was there. Steven, be on your guard. Ironmonger is running around stealing everyone's power.
What?
He immediately got ready to fight. It was just in time too, as Ironmonger came flying over, firing down on us.
The good doctor. I think you've got just what I'm looking for.
Dr. Strange was ready though, and he started to put up a good fight. Ironmonger was going to have a much harder fight this time. I may have spoke too soon though, as Ironmonger managed to land a hard hit, knocking out Dr. Strange. Ironmonger lifted his weapon and started draining Dr. Strange's power. I had to do something. Oh no you don't. Even though I wasn't super strong, I charged in and managed to stop Ironmonger from taking all the power. Problem was, he was now focused on me. Dr. Strange was back in the fight though, and together we put up a good fight. In the end, we managed to hurt Ironmonger enough that he backed down.
This isn't the last you've seen of me.
He flew off. Steven, are you okay?
I still have some of my powers, but I'm definitely weaker than before. I need to go rest.
Dr. Strange opened a portal and walked through it. Well, that was a quick exit, but at least we could stop him from losing everything. I better get back to the base and see who else we can help. On days 23 to 26, I was on my way back to the base when Jarvis piped up with some helpful information.
Sir, my sensors are indicating a lot of silver nearby. I think that could help.
Jarvis then told me what direction to go, and I headed there right away. As I arrived at the location he was sending me to, I didn't see anything. Are you sure this is the right place? There doesn't seem to be anything here.
The silver may be beneath something, but I am 99% sure it is here.
Well, guess I better start breaking blocks. I started breaking things as I looked around and soon saw an entrance to a dungeon. What is this all about? As I went deeper into the dungeon, I ran into a bunch of piglins. You piggies better watch out. That's when I noticed that they had all kinds of materials stored down here. I hope you guys don't mind if I use some of this stuff. As I fought my way through the gang of piglins, I noticed that they dropped silver ingots.
There, sir, the silver I was detecting.
I happily picked the silver up and continued to fight the piglins. There were hoglins around as well, and they were a tough challenge. But I was up for the fight and soon made it to the dungeon's boss, a piglin brute with armor. You look strong, but I'm stronger. It turned out I was right. The piglin brute was really strong after all. He knocked me back, but I stayed in the fight. He wasn't going to get the better of me. After a long fight, I finally took him out. He didn't drop anything. But look, a chest. I went over to the chest, which was filled with silver. This should be more than enough. I hurried back out of the cave. On days 27 to 31, I arrived back at my base. I met back up with the team to tell them the good news. Guys, I was able to find Dr. Strange, and together we were able to fight off Ironmonger. Dr. Strange was weakened, but he was able to keep his powers. Everyone was really excited to hear the good news and couldn't believe Ironmonger had shown up again. Everyone, that is, except Steve.
He kept his powers, huh? Well, good for him, I guess.
I didn't know why Steve wasn't excited like everyone else. He really must be jealous someone else got to keep their powers. I left the room and went to work on a new set of armor. With all the new silver I'd collected, I was going to be able to build an even better suit. I took my time making each set, and soon I had a full set of Iron Man Mark II armor. Oh yeah, now this is what I'm talking about. With my new suit on, I noticed I had more health than before. I still couldn't fly yet, but I could jump a little higher and felt stronger too. I showed it off to the gang, and everyone was really impressed. If I kept finding more materials, I would be back to full strength in no time. I had to find more materials. On days 32 to 35, I decided to see what else Jarvis could find for me. I'm thinking of adding some more weapons to the suit. What do you think it can handle?
Scans show it is not strong enough to handle your repulsor cannon, but there is something else that might work. We'll have to travel far away, but I believe it will be worth it.
Show me the way. Jarvis explained the way to go, and eventually we made it to an entirely new biome. All right, Jarvis, what direction?
Down, sir.
It looked like it was time to dig. I think I knew what he had in mind. I kept digging and soon made it into a magma chamber. Let me guess, we need some lava.
No, sir. We're searching for a very specific mob. It should be here.
I started to explore. Could you tell me what I'm looking for? Just then, I almost ran into a monster. It was a mutant blaze. Yikes, thanks for the warning.
Sorry, sir, but my sensors aren't quite as sharp down here.
The mutant blaze's fire attacks were strong, but my new armor was doing its job. I was taking much less damage than I normally would have. I'm gonna put you out, Firehead. I kept on swinging, and at long last, defeated the blaze. As he disappeared, I saw he had dropped a blaze core.
The blaze core, that is just what we need, sir.
On days 36 to 39, I made it out of the hole and headed back towards the base. As I arrived back at the base, I went to the crafting area and got right to work on the new suit attachment. Using the blaze core, I was able to make myself a flamethrower. Oh yeah, I'm starting to heat up now. I called the others over and showed them my new toy.
Whoa, that new flamethrower is so hot right now.
Natasha was really excited about it, but Steve less so. No surprise there, he was just jealous. On days 40 to 43, I heard the power detector going off again. It must have found another superhero. Maybe with my new gear, I can even defeat Ironmonger this time. I let the others know that I would head out by myself again. Until they could get their powers, it just didn't make sense to put them in harm's way. I would handle everything. I set off in search of the superhero, and soon found myself in a thick forest. Hello, is there anyone around here? I kept shouting and looking around, but couldn't find anyone. All I saw were a bunch of bats flying around. Suddenly, they attacked me. What the? Get away from me! Using my new attacks, I managed to fight off the bats, but then I was attacked by some wolves. This forest is crazy! What's going on around here? The wolves snapped their teeth and swung their claws, but I was able to keep them away and knock them out. I still don't see anyone, but it's starting to get late. I better build a shelter for the night. I soon found a nice clearing and got right to work building a shelter. After a bit, my camp was set up. Time to get some sleep. I'll keep looking in the morning. On days 44 to 49, I woke up in the middle of the night to a rumbling sound. What was that? I ran outside and saw there was a huge castle that had appeared out of nowhere. Well, nothing else to do but take a look. I ran into the castle and was suddenly attacked by a whole bunch of spooky mobs. There were bats and all kinds of skeleton creatures. I had to fight for my life. Back off, you undead creatures. You'll never take me alive. I kept fighting my way through the castle until finally I saw something different than the mobs. It was Blade. Blade, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here? I've tracked a vampire to this castle and I'm so close to finally beating him.
I've come to warn you. Ironmonger is going around stealing power from superheroes. You've got to get out of here.
Thanks for the warning, but I've come too far to quit. I don't see Ironmonger anywhere, so I think I have time to finish my mission.
Well, let me help. Together we can get it done even faster. We soon noticed a coffin and walked up to it to take a look. We opened it, but it was a trap.
Oh no, what is this? I can't move.
Me either. Jarvis, clear this gas out of my suit. Jarvis got right to work, but he wasn't quick enough. Ironmonger had shown up.
Huh, stay still. This won't hurt at all.
Ironmonger used a special item and was able to take away Blade's powers. Jarvis had just cleared the gas from my suit though, and I was ready to fight.
I thought I told you to keep out of this.
Ironmonger didn't stick around to fight me, but instead released the vampire before flying away. Without his powers, Blade was in for a real fight. Come on, Blade, I'll help you. Blade and I got to work swinging at the vampire. Even without his powers, Blade was a good fighter, getting lots of hits in. He wasn't good enough though, and the vampire was able to really hurt him. You'll pay for that! I started attacking him even more than before and could tell I was starting to win. When he was at his weakest, Blade jumped forward and knocked him out with a stake for good.
Thanks for your help. I couldn't have done this without you. Here, take this stick. You never know when it could come in handy.
Thanks. I'll be sure to keep it close. I'm sorry about your powers. How about you come back to my base with me and we can figure this out?
That sounds like just what I need right now.
On days 50 to 53, Blade and I returned to the base. Then we met up with Natasha and told her what had happened.
I'm sorry to hear it didn't work out this time. It sounds like he's getting smarter.
I'm sorry too. But hey, where's Steve?
Oh, he said he had some errands to run and left. He didn't tell me what those errands were.
That's odd. Just then, Steve came back to the base.
Sorry about that. I was just collecting some more materials to upgrade the base. I thought you could use some new materials for our new guest.
That was a fair point. He was right too. Blade needed a place to stay. Using some of the materials Steve had gathered, I was able to put together a room for Blade. Steve had also mentioned wanting a training room, so I got to work on that. Just because they had lost their powers didn't mean they couldn't stay in shape. Soon, everything was complete. On days 54 to 57, I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. I decided I needed to talk to Natasha in private. Hey, I wanted to ask, has Steve been acting strange to you?
Now that you mention it, he has. I haven't seen him do anything strange specifically, but he doesn't seem like he's been his normal self. I usually try and let people just do their own thing.
You see, the thing is, Ironmonger always seems to show up right around the same time I do. I'm not saying Steve is somehow tipping him off, but I want to be sure he's not involved.
Say no more. The next time you guys go, I'll keep an eye on him. That would be strange, but we'll feel better if we can rule it out.
Thanks, Nat. I appreciate it. I then reached out to Jarvis to help with the next stage of rigging up the superpower detector. If Steve was really tricking us, I needed to get the super detector to trick him. Jarvis said he knew what I needed to get, but there were some special items I needed to collect first. Let's get exploring. On days 58 to 62, Jarvis led me to a cave that was filled with spiders. I was pretty strong at this point, and these spiders were no match for me. I easily knocked them out of the way. Aha! There's the gold ore you wanted me to get. I quickly mined up all the gold I needed, then hurried back to the base. There, I crafted some special wiring out of gold and took it to the superpower detector. After I attached the new wiring, the detector started to go off. Everyone came running into the room. The detector found another super. Hang tight, guys. I'll go get them and help them out. Everyone agreed, and as I went to leave, I gave Natasha a nod to let her know the plan was on. She nodded back. I soon reached a mountaintop where the detector was pointing me to. Of course, no one was here, but I needed to put on a good show. Oh, hey Thor, I can't believe you're here. Just then, Ironmonger popped out.
Aha! Huh?
I was ready for him and gave him a good hit.
What the? There's no Thor here. I can't believe I've been betrayed and tricked like this.
What do you mean betrayed? How did you know I would be here?
I've said too much.
Ironmonger flew away. Something was definitely going on. I hurried back to the base. As I arrived, I could see Natasha was waiting for me.
You're not gonna believe this.
What happened?
After you left, I followed Steve just like you asked. Once he had gotten far enough away from the base, I saw him pull out a communication device. I got close enough to hear who he was talking to. It was Ironmonger.
You're right. I can't believe this. We've got to confront him right away. On days 63 to 66, I headed into the base to find Steve. I soon found him.
Hey, you weren't gone for very long. Did you find anyone?
There was no one there, but you probably already knew that.
What do you mean? How could I have known that?
Because you've been in contact with your friend, Ironmonger. Give it up, Steve. We know.
You don't know anything.
Just then, Steve started to transform. Suddenly, Steve was gone, and Mandarin was standing there. Mandarin! So it's been you all along. I should have known it was someone evil trying to trick us.
Well, you just aren't very smart, are you? You've been leading us to superheroes this entire time.
What do you want with us?
I've been absorbing all of the powers. Soon, you'll be unable to stop me. I was hoping I could wait for you to build another supersuit so I could steal its powers too, but no matter. You'd never stop me.
I leapt forward to attack him, but he was right. He was really strong. He knocked me out of the way and was able to escape. He wasn't fully powered up yet, but if he was this strong already, we were going to be in real trouble. On days 67 to 70, I went to talk to Natasha and Blade. I couldn't believe I had been tricked. I apologized to them for leading Mandarin right to them.
Don't worry about it. You were trying your best. Now that we know who we're really up against, we have a better chance of stopping him.
Thanks, Nat. I appreciate the support. And speaking of support, I appreciate all of you watching too. After this video, search for more Zozo. Z-O-Z-O.
Sir, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I've managed to repair my memory banks and unlocked a new design for another part of the suit.
Oh, that's great news. What do we need to build it?
It looks like we'll be needing some diamonds, but I'm not detecting any on my scanner.
You need diamonds? I haven't seen any underground, but while I was tracking the vampire, I stayed in a village full of them. I'll tell you where to go.
Blade explained where the village was, and I set off to find it. I soon arrived and saw that Blade wasn't lying. There were diamonds everywhere here. The villagers had all kinds of diamond tools and armor. Hey there, nice armor. Do you guys have any extra diamonds you could spare?
I might have some, but I can't just give you them for free.
That's understandable. How much do they cost?
You know, we've had quite a bit of a problem here, and if you can solve that problem, I'll give you everything we can spare.
Sounds like it must be a pretty big problem then.
Yeah, there's a monster that has started living in our diamond mine, and we haven't been able to go in there for weeks. take care of that monster for us, and we'll give you our spare diamonds.
Okay, I'll do it. Tell me where to go. On day 71 to 74, I arrived at the diamond mine, but the place looked abandoned. I guess the monster really cleared this place out. Better see what I can find. I went into the cave but didn't see any diamonds. I didn't see anything for that matter. The place was super dark. As I went deeper into the mine, I placed torches to help me see. The mine kept going deeper and deeper. I was starting to wonder if it would ever end. At long last, I reached what seemed to be the final room. There's nothing here. Maybe the monster left or something. Just then, I noticed that the torches I had placed along the wall were starting to go out. One by one, they broke, getting closer and closer to me. Suddenly, the vampire from before appeared. What? I thought we defeated you. The vampire smirked and then attacked. He was even stronger than before, and this time he had some tricks up his sleeve too. He burst into a ball of smoke, summoning a group of bats. What in the world? This is crazy! The vampire had disappeared. I had to defeat these bats. I ran around trying to cut down as many as I could. Suddenly, I felt a hit. The vampire had reappeared. Get out of here, Dracula! I still couldn't believe this guy was still around, but I guess it's true. Vampires can never really be defeated. That's when I remembered. The stake! The vampire was getting weak now, and it was time to finish him off. I grabbed my stake and hit him, finishing him off. He would be back eventually, but at least I could get my diamonds in the meantime. I hurried back into the village and met up with the villager. It's done! The monster is gone! Now let's see about those diamonds.
Amazing, you saved us. Here, you can have everything we have to spare.
The villager tossed out a single diamond. I gave him a look. I thought you said you were going to give me all the diamonds you have to spare.
I did. We only have one diamond to spare.
Jarvis piped up.
That should be all we need, sir.
Thanks. Well, here, you guys might need this. I tossed him the stake and headed off, back to the base. On day 75 to 78, I arrived back at the base. It was time to make what Jarvis had remembered. As I went to the crafting table, Jarvis told me what I needed to do to craft a new repulsor. It wasn't my full suit, but at least it was a stronger weapon than before. Just then, Natasha came into the room.
You've got your repulsor up and running? That's great.
Yeah, problem is, I don't know where to go to find Ironmonger or Mandarin.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. When I heard Steve, or I guess Mandarin, talking to Ironmonger, I thought I could hear some machines in the background.
Blade came into the room.
Machines? There's a factory not too far from here. Maybe he's hiding out in there.
It's worth a shot. I'm not sure where else to look. They all agreed, and I decided that before I would leave, I would go ahead and finish the statue. It took a lot of hard work to get it done, but I soon had it all finished in no time. So what do you guys think? Did you guess what it was correctly? On days 79 to 84, I soon arrived at the factory Blade had told me about. I'm not sure if this is right, but we'll find out. As I got closer, I was suddenly attacked by a group of zombies. If there were zombies around here, there was a good chance Ironmonger or Mandarin were around too. I managed to fight through the wave, but avoided using my repulsor. In case Ironmonger was watching, I didn't want him to know I had it. Soon, all of the zombies were defeated. On days 85 to 89, I entered into the base. That's when I saw Ironmonger standing amongst a bunch of zombies trapped in cases of liquid. What are you doing?
I knew you would show up here eventually. I'm doing what needs to be done. You superheroes think you can just do whatever you want. Zombies can be controlled, so I'm taking your powers and giving them to them. Then I will control all the powers on Earth.
Oh, I see. You don't want to stop superpowers. You just want to be in charge of them yourself. I won't let you get away with this.
Huh. You've been trying to stop me this entire time and have never beat me. Today, I will finish you for good.
We'll see about that. Ironmonger flew up in the air as a door opened, letting zombies into the room. There were a ton of them. Uh-oh, I better take care of these first. I ran around the room trying to take out as many zombies as I could. This was a tough fight with so many things going on at once. I had to defeat Ironmonger though. My friends were going to need all of their powers back. Where is Mandarin hiding?
You'll never find him, because you'll never leave here.
Ironmonger and I were now fighting each other directly, and it was getting intense. He hadn't expected all of my upgrades though, and I was really hurting him.
How did you get so strong? I thought I took everything away from you.
A suit isn't a brain, and that's what's going to defeat you. I fired my repulsor at him and took him out for good. As he disappeared, I saw he had dropped some unique parts, which I picked up.
Sir, we can use these materials to remake your strongest suit.
Yes! Now we just need to find Mandarin and get everyone's powers back. Let's do this! On days 90 to 94, I made it back to the base. I ran right over to Natasha and Blade to tell them the good news. I was able to defeat Ironmonger. The bad news is that he was trying to inject zombies with your powers.
That's horrible. It's a good thing you beat him, though.
Speaking of, any way to get our powers back?
Before I left, I saw he had some kind of machine that must be storing your powers. If you guys go there, you may be able to get them back.
Right on. Thanks for all of your help.
You've got it. Now I've got to get to work returning to my final form. I I rushed over to the garage as the others set off for the factory. Using the materials Ironmonger had dropped, I got to work building my final Mark III version of my armor. After a lot of hard work, my armor was restored. Yes, it's going to feel so good to fly again. I ran up the stairs of the house and over to a balcony. Here we go. I jumped off and nothing happened. I landed in the water below. Jarvis, what's going on?
Sorry, sir, but while your suit has been restored, the flying capabilities still need some repairs.
Don't you think you could have told me that before I jumped off the cliff?
My apologies, sir.
It's okay, no harm done. Now where do we need to go? On days 95 to 97, Jarvis instructed me that we would be heading to the Nether, so I got to work building a Nether portal. I hadn't been able to get a diamond pickaxe, so I had to get creative. By using lava and some water, I managed to fashion a Nether portal together. It took a bit to get it all done, but soon I had my own Nether portal ready to go. Alright, Jarvis, show me the way. I stepped into the portal and soon found myself in the Nether. This place always gives me the creeps. Let's make this quick. There was some quartz nearby, so I quickly ran over to it and mined it up. Luckily, that was all I needed, so with my pockets full, I jumped back into the portal. Back in the garage, I got right to work, crafting the flight module. It didn't take too long, and soon, it was all complete. I walked back towards the cliff, jumped off, and it worked. Yahoo! I'm a flying man once again. I took some time flying around, feeling good that I was finally powered up. Just then, Jarvis delivered some interesting news.
Sir, the superhero detector at the base is going off. The signals are off the charts.
I hurried back to the base and went into the detector room. The machine was going crazy. The signal is way too strong for it to be Natasha and Blade getting their powers back. Mandarin must be up to something. It was time to take him down. On day 98, I headed off in the direction the detector was pointing. Not too much later, I saw a giant base rising out of the ground. This has to be Mandarin's base. Just then, I was attacked by a bunch of zombies. Oh no, he must be trying to do the same thing Ironmonger was. I've got to get to him, and quick. I was so strong that I knocked the zombies out of the way, no problem. But there was still a lot of them. I also couldn't help but notice some of them were stronger than others. I had to hurry and get to the top. Out of the way, zombros. I kept firing my repulsor cannon until at long last, all of the zombies were defeated. I ran over to the stairs and started heading up to the top. As I got close, I passed a sign in the distance. Oh, subscribe! You should do that right now. And once this adventure is over, go look up some more of my other ones. Just search Zozo, Z-O-Z-O, to find them. On day 99, I reached the top of the tower and saw Mandarin floating in the sky. Wait, how are you floating?
Impressive, isn't it? You're too late. I've absorbed your friend's powers, and now you'll never be able to defeat me.
No, I don't believe it. I'm going to knock their powers out of you.
Bring it on, rich boy.
Mandarin started firing energy blasts at me, causing some big explosions. I returned fire, launching attacks with my repulsor cannon. I had to be careful though. Getting caught in those explosions really hurt.
The time of the superheroes is over, and the time of the supervillain has begun.
I managed to get a hit in with my repulsor, which stopped his monologue. But suddenly, a bunch of yellow smoke appeared, and Mandarin was gone. Where did he go?
Looking for me?
Mandarin reappeared, launching more energy blasts. He could teleport now. This wasn't looking good. I had started to fly around, but this was tough. I was hanging in there, but I didn't know how long I could last.
What's wrong? Am I too strong? Let me make this easier for you and finish this.
There was another plume of yellow smoke, and Mandarin copied himself. I was getting attacked from all sides. Oh no, he's too strong. I was taking out some of his clones, but there was no way I could keep this up. I finally took out the clones, but took a heavy hit. One more hit, and it was all done for me. I removed my mask.
I'm going to enjoy this. You have been a thorn in my side for too long.
Suddenly, a portal opened, and all of my friends came running through, including Dr. Strange and Captain America.
Thought I ought to pay you back.
This guy stole my face. That's America's face, not his.
We were able to get our powers back.
All thanks to you. Now let's return the favor.
Well, aren't we all just one big happy family? Well, you're too late. I'm not just as strong as all of you. I'm stronger.
Mandarin cloned himself again, and we all started to fight. It was on now. He was still strong, but there was no way he could take us all down, because even though we might be equal in power, we had something he didn't. Friendship.
No, it can't be. How can I be losing?
We had defeated all of his clones and surrounded him in the center of the platform. Well, thanks for playing. Tell Ironmonger we say hello.
No!
I blasted him with my repulsor, destroying him for good. My friends and I all gathered together. Steve, I was wondering what had happened to you. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, the doctor here came and found me. By the time we met up with the other two, they had just gotten their powers. We came here right away.
Just in time, too. Suddenly, another portal opened, and Hulk came through. Wait a second, this isn't where I was trying to go. Where's Abomination? Uh-oh, that Hulk sounds like me. Looks like me from another video somehow wound up here. Can you help him get back? After this video is over, go watch my Hulk video. On day 100, we had all arrived back at the base. The world was safe once again, and everyone had their powers. But we would stay vigilant and keep an eye out. You never know when trouble could strike again.